I have seen the young man, the vibrant man in Vihiga, Akida Alinjenga. Who knows? You could be the president of Kenya. Take a front seat, kindly. I have seen my chairman, a man of honor. Kncci, one day you'll drive the economy of Kenya crazy, you know. I have seen men, one day you're going to be the Obama of this world. Don't be afraid of these front seats, they're not hot. You see? You're being ushered in. Honorable Charles, I have seen. If it were, we would bring sanity from our doorstep going upwards. Because that's the reason you were born in that household. And that's what the reason you were put in this geographical region of this rugged terrain that is full of granite and lots of trees, eucalyptus to be precise, in Vihiga. So you have a purpose. It's not a coincidence that you are here. It's not a failure that some people are not here and that they are on their way. It's not a failure. It's timely, it's God's timing. So I beg us to start our program right now without much ado. My name is Anya Mita. For those who don't know me, because most of you know me as Kncci Creations, I am a member of the Cognitive Dialogue, actually the founder of the Cognitive Dialogue. I'll talk more about it. I've just introduced myself. I'm a member of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm business oriented. I have my journey and I have my challenges. But most of all, I'm here because of you and myself. And I'm here because of Vihiga County. As I said, the people, they say that there's strength in number, but there's strength in the will in your heart, more than the number. And what you want to achieve as a person in this nation, and even the nations across. So, I'd like us to have someone to pray for us. If there is a pastor in our midst, it doesn't even have to be a pastor really, but somebody who understands their faith with God, their relationship with God, kindly just volunteer and pray for us.
Okay, let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, I want to thank you this evening for the good day you've made for us. We are assembled here to learn. God, thank you for providing the day. God, I want to commit all the facilitators unto you for your guidance and for your providence. I pray trusting in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen. Before I proceed, it was brought to my notice, and we all know that we have had a tragedy in our midst. They are part of us, they are our children, and they are part of the community in Vihiga County. We lost our girls a few weeks ago, and today there was a requiem mass at the school. I'm not the best person fitted because of 1, 2, 3 things to do this. So I'll appoint someone to do it, maybe do what they do best, so that they can drive us to that moment they normally say of silence or something like that. So, if you can be able to do that, and I'll just randomly pick, because we are all businessmen and we all know what we want in this land. So, this dark and handsome young man, can you lead us to a moment of silence for the big girls and the tragedy they have?
Hello, members. Let us be silent for the Thank you for the privileges you have given me. I thank God because God has made me to be before you with you today. Let us be silent before we had anything because of what has happened in our school, B secondary in Vihiga County. Let us give thanks to God for what has happened, and we know God is going to be with us wherever we are. Thank you. God bless you, Mother.
Thank you for that. Thank you for remembering our girls and their families, because at this time what is important is their families. That the Lord will comfort them and put His wings around them and actually touch their hearts even when they are mourning. And we continue to pray for our children on the roads, even this time when the schools are about to open, that we shall have a proper system put in place for our children even in the future, and that our kids will always come home safely, guarded and protected by our God. Thank you so much for that. So I want to do some introductions. Within us we have distinguished guests. We have members of this lovely county of Vihiga who work in various places, and they contribute to the economy of this Vihiga. Whether it is in a small way or in a big way, they mean so much to this Vihiga, and that is you. So I'm going to pass this microphone around, and just quickly, because the numbers are fewer, you'll just say who you are, the kind of business you do, and that's it. Or where you work, because even workplaces are businesses, and God will bless us. Charles.
Thank you very much. I'm Stephen Chahasi, a business person. I sell shoes, rubbers specifically. I also do agribusiness. I'm the only person planting range beans around Vihiga. So anytime you need to test and know what range beans are, I'm able to deliver. Thank you. God bless you. I'm also a member of Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much. For those who don't know me, the name is called Munyora. I'm the director of Orbit Prime, which is a marketing company. Also a director of Great Circle Investment, deals with general supply. And I'm also the director of Vihiga TV News, which is a media agency. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Francis Yari. I run a car wash business situated at Kaimos.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Evans in Swahili. Essentially, I should say I'm a public spirited person. Of course, beyond what we do in the civil society world, I also I'm a tree farmer. Do lots of tree nurseries and growing fruit from trees. And Madam Presenter, I want to take this earliest opportunity,
Yes.
perhaps to speak on behalf of those who may not speak, because I know in this world, before all of you started doing the business you're doing, is what we call the oldest profession. So those members who belong to the oldest profession, who are in the house and do not speak, feel that we have spoken for you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Member Ibrahim. I run a I used to run a software development company in Nairobi, but again we are available in Vihiga, a phone call away, and also supplies and contracting. That's it.
I'm Franklin Chile Jr., Vihiga County Bodaboda Chair.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Remy Shurudu. I belong to the academy as well as to business academy because I'm a lecturer at Kaimos Friends University and the chairman of Kaimos Circle. Thank you.
Jamani wote, naitwa Sami Mugita, nikiwa mwenyekiti wa shirika moja linalojulikana kama Kenya Foundation, dealing with training, consultancy, and a member of the civil society also. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm Darlene Simbi, administrator, ANCCI, and a poultry farm.
Good evening. I'm Brenda. I do a business in waste management. Assess my chupa tins, whatever. I take them back. I take them to for recycling. I also do beekeeping and poultry farming.
Good evening, all. How are you? I'm Gladwell Simbi, a representative from Stefan Fly Limited, and I'm also senior manager.
Protocols observed. Soya Idea Center, the small industry situated in Vihiga here. We transform dry soybeans into delicacies. If you look at your back, your side, you can see some soybeans. Those are our products. They are the first of its kind. They are very nutritious. They are whole milk. They are a complete diet because they have all the vitamins, minerals, and all that is necessary for your bodies. Thank you very much. Welcome. You can pick one on your way or before you leave. It's going at 100 shillings a piece. Thank you.
Very tasty.
Good evening all. I'm Moses Moll. I run a retail shop in Banga. Thank you. Habari ya jioni. Naitwa Geoffrey Siao. Nafanya biashara Mbale ya kuuza nyanya na vitunguu.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is John. I run a school. I also do some charity. Good day.
Jambo nyingi wote.
Jambo.
Naitwa Cynthia, ni mwanafunzi agency.
Thank you.
Bwana asifiwe.
Amen.
Kwa majina ni Ezi Ndasiani, I'm a business woman from
Yes, good evening. My name's John Chepseba Ngetich. I'm a peasant farmer. Also belong to disaster, I'm an ambassador, disaster risk reduction ambassador. I'm also a secretary to the community, the minority of Vihiga Kncci community. So I'm very much glad so that I believe this meeting will give me much to take back home.
Sure. Even your fellow man from the Terek community has just arrived. Victor Mwanga in the house, karibu sana.
Good evening, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good evening, everybody. Mimi naitwa Nicholas Obiambo. Mimi ni fundi wa viatu. Natengeneza viatu professionally. Kwa hivyo napatikana katika mji wa Mbale, katikati hapo Hapsa. Na tena kwa hayo yote waliniwekea kiti ingine ya organizing secretary katika mji wa Mbale. Mimi ni organizing secretary wa governor katika town ya Mbale. Kwa hivyo najivunia ninapokuja katika Chamber of Commerce. I'm also a member of Chamber of Commerce, long serving, because tulianza mapema kitambo, and that's why I'm here. Thank you. God bless you.
Welcome.
Wote hamjambo.
Hatujambo.
Kwa majina naitwa Francis Lumangala. In business circle wananiita Frank. In Chamber of Commerce, I'm either registered or non-registered, but I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce, a former director, and I was representing the youth in business. And this meeting is, I have a lot of interest in today's an informed decision. Something.
Thank you so much.
Before I forget, I think for the organizers, if you can make a live link available, there are so many people following up the proceedings, even at the national level, because this is a first for the business in the business community, and especially for members. So there are people here, even the Chamber of Commerce, I'm told they are presidential aspirants, they are following it. So give us the best.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. Good evening. My name is Moses Akidadi Njenga. I come from Sabati. And I've been working at Chambers of Commerce since 2018 as communication and advocacy officer. And in terms of business, I do tomato supply and also dairy animal supply. Then I work as a project manager and assist Community Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Jambo. Kwa majina naitwa Dr. Fozia Nurwin. Mimi ni mhadhiri katika chuo kikuu cha Kaimosi, kitengo cha biashara na uchumi, nikisimamia mambo ya ununuzi na uuzaji. Mbali na hapo, nasimamia mambo ya elimu katika Vihiga County, nikiwa kwenye board ya mambo ya elimu, County Education Board, as the acting chair. Na tena niko hapa kama mkulima. Mimi ni mkulima, napanda samaki, napanda kuku, napanda na nyuki na mboga za kienyeji. Napanda kwa sababu I harvest. When you harvest, you do what?
You plant.
You plant. So we are here to plant a way forward on how we want the Vihiga County business community to be. And I am also representing the Muslim community here in this particular setting, because we are having majority of the retailers coming from our community that is not represented anywhere.
Exactly.
And yet, there are so many things that we need to say. Where is our voice as the business community? And I'm glad there are representatives from the county here, because the County Act has very specific areas or activities that they're supposed to do for us. They're supposed to provide water. Who has water? They're supposed to provide sanitation. Who has sanitation, toilets, etc.? They're supposed to provide parking. They're supposed to provide security. So basically what I'm saying is, we are okay with where we are. The question is it okay? How many markets do we have that are working well? If you went to our neighbor just here in Kakamega, and you look at how they're trying to revamp what they're supposed to do, then either we as members are not voicing up and okay with the status quo, or we are idiots. It is true. Because if we can't voice our concerns, if we can't voice our needs, I was just sharing here earlier on that I am a buyer of groceries, and so are all of us. I want to buy groceries and I want to empower my mama boga and the oldest profession among others. There's no parking, isn't it? So where will I park my car? Then on top of that, iko matope mejaa, it means nitabaka out, sindio? Then on top of that, iko mlevi pale, iko nini pale, sindio? So me for my comfort, where do you think I'll go for my shopping? And let us call a spade a spade. Vihiga County has no supermarket. So I took this chance to voice that we should ask ourselves a lot of hard questions. Where are we and where do we want to go? And how are we going there? We need to change status quo on a lot of things. Because the way we are right now, 10 years down the line, Vihiga County will still be like this. But I believe we have the drive to make it a better place. We need value chain activities. We need market aggregation, both downstream and upstream. We need distribution channels, and there are many opportunities, so that when we say there are no jobs, the jobs are there. We need to create those jobs. And they are there. We need a think tank, we need a way forward. I took this opportunity because I live Valley, so thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Daktari.
Wafela bosi. Mbora bosi nkomonoma Luswahili, Lusungu, which is okay, but biashara vinyewe bandu wakora mululimi lwao. But for purposes of Fozia na ndugu zetu wote nitaongea Kiswahili na Kiingereza kidogo, but I'd like to see a community where we speak in our own language and transact business in our own language, so that there's ownership in what we are selling in the market. Kwa majina naitwa Victor Mwanga. I am the chairman of the Bamboo Association of Kenya. I am also a member of the Presidential Committee on, previously it was 10% forest cover. It has now been reviewed to 30% forest cover by 2032. I am the director of Chiriki Tropical Gardens and Farm, which is the premier bamboo value addition business in this country. And I'm here today, one, to ask us to have a wake-up call towards business, because we are all doing business in a way that is not sufficient to push resources. I'm also here to reiterate that as a county, we are losing 80% of development allocations in this county through capital flight. That people who are working in this county don't bank their money in our banks in Vihiga, don't stay within Vihiga, don't do business within Vihiga, they don't take their children to school in Vihiga, and 80% of our development budget goes out of this county. So even as we continue with this discussion, and I'm going to leave early because I have another obligation at 6 p.m. That is something that I would like us to bring out. And finally, even as we go towards the election of the chamber, I would like a situation where there's equity in terms of leadership positions that are in this county. We have a governor from Bunyore, we have a senator from Bunyore, we have a speaker from Bunyore. We are now running towards the chairman of the chamber coming from Bunyore. That is not equitable distribution of resources as envisaged in the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
Thank you so much, big brother, Victor, for that. I think everyone should have applauded you for those insights, because they're quite deep and realistic. As I said earlier, we are here for the community. All of us are the voice of the community. We represent our community here in Vihiga, and we represent our businesses as well. And it's true, we need equitable distribution of resources across the county. And so do we also need inclusivity within this county, beginning from the top leadership to the lowest cadre of leadership. And because Kncci is our business today, we will try and work towards that road of Kncci where leadership is concerned. And we are here because there is an upcoming election on 8th of May. We all know that. And we know that quite a number of things have happened. And There are some who are members of Kncci and some are not members of Kncci. And you may ask yourself, why am I not a member? And if I'm a member, what am I supposed to be doing? The problem is this. We are here as the cognitive dialogue to voice over these issues to you and the community. And the people you have left at your doorstep, because you should have carried them here, because they needed to hear this. But we thank God, because of the digital world, most of the information will be able to reach to your doorstep. Because we want to have a voice, we want our issues tackled in a manner that they should be tackled, whereby there is breakdown of information to the lowest possible person, if there were a person that is low, because I doubt if there is any one of us that is low. Each one of us, God made us all equal in his eyes, and he loved us as if we were one person. So there is no poor person, there is no rich person, but it's the magnitude of your mind on how you make riches, that now you can quantify yourself and classify yourself as a poor person or as a rich person. But we are all rich, and because of his mercies again, we are rich. Actually, extravagant riches. Now, back to the agenda of the day. We are here as the cognitive dialogue. We are the bridge between Kncci and the Vihiga business community. And we were just doing introductions for those who walked in a bit late. We were introducing ourselves and what we do within Vihiga, because this is a business person affair. When you look at Kncci and how it was founded and why it was founded, Kncci was founded actually in 1965. And we know for the last regime, the 3 years that have lapsed, and now we are just about to get into elections. We know the patron was our Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, was the patron of Kncci. Just that you know, because most of us don't know that. And before we can see, President Moi was the patron, Mwai Kibaki was the patron, so it goes on like that. So we automatically know we're supposed to be the patron for this other regime that is coming in. And we know that our president, the president for Kncci is Honorable Richard Kncci. But I have to make you understand that most of us don't know or don't understand what Kenya National of Chamber and Commerce and Industry is all about. This is Kncci. For those who have Google eyes like mine, our business is growing your business. Ask yourself, has Kncci grown your business? You'll answer yourself. Another mandate or vision, or should it be the mission, is to promote, protect, coordinate businesses. Has your business been promoted? Has it been protected? Has it been coordinated to those other avenues, maybe internationally or locally? Has it been promoted? For those who are members, those who are actually proudly standing up and saying, I was a member, what have you benefited? You should have given us one benefit that you got out of Kncci. Our county development mandate is to develop and promote county chamber programs. The directors are here. We shall ask them if they know of such a thing. Whether they have developed and promoted the county chamber programs, whether they have promoted the county trade and business development, whether they have facilitated and coordinated county conferences and fairs and exhibitions. How many exhibitions have we had in Vihiga County under the umbrella of Kncci? To promote public and private partnership at county level. Do we have that? Those who've been members like myself, can we boast of that? That all these things have happened in our businesses. Some of us are actually choking in our businesses. We can hardly stand up. We don't even know where to get the capital. We don't even know who's going to buy our stuff. Patrova is here with soya. He doesn't even know who he's going to sell that soya to. And the supermarkets here, in quotes, because you've been told by Dr. Nuren Foza that there are no supermarket. There's no supermarket in Vihiga. And by the way, I side with her. There is no supermarket in Vihiga. What we have are retail shops. And even though, do these retail shops retail your products? You business people who are here, have you given in your soya? And it has been retailed in these shops. Have you given in your milk? Has it been bought or retailed in these shops? Has your service been bought within Vihiga? Or do we go for better services in Kisumu and in Nandi? Because we want class. But what we ourselves make is not worthy for the people. So that would be the question you'll be asking yourself. What have I done as a business person? Is the quality of the education that I'm giving my children or I'm giving to the community because I own a school? Is it the quality of the education that I want for my children? Or I'm just selling them because I need change? I need to put bread and butter on my table at the cost. Are you really different from the Shakahola things? It's a tragedy. I don't even imagine that I've mentioned that name because I wonder, have we done such kind of things? Okay. I can imagine the Shakahola, we are all pointing fingers at Shakahola. I'm doing an introduction, so don't get tired. We have all pointed fingers at Shakahola and said Pastor Mackenzie and Pastor Ezekiel has done this and that. Are we any better? Are we any different? From another angle, haven't we done that to our people? Haven't we sold them stuff that probably has not made them happy or satisfied? Haven't we milked our people as we run to the nearby towns to get the best of the pleasures of this life and get the best? Have we run to other places to look for the best bamboo seedling? When you leave our nurseries here, he said he's the chair nationally, so you can imagine. And you go looking for bamboo somewhere else, and you leave the guru of bamboo at your doorstep. You leave the gurus of education, Dr. Nandi, Dr. Nurwen, Mwalimu Ibra. You leave them and you run to the next available city. You shut down and look down upon border people. And yet, their service industry has been brought to another level. But you look down on them and you don't encourage them. And you pay them 10 bob for a stage. But when you are carried by an Uber from Kisumu, you give that man a tip of 500 bob. But you cannot as much give a border person a tip of 500 bob. You look for photographers away, and you cannot as much as even try and look at our brother here. He does the best of best. But no, because of class, I'm going to run to Kisumu. Anyway, that was just an introduction so that you know that Kncci is here to protect us, to promote us, to coordinate us, and to align us to better business ideas, and also to bring policies, bills, and whatever it is on the table in the county assembly, the national assembly, wherever, because they're supposed to be partnering with the government. They're supposed to be working with the government. Why would we have a patron who is a president for Kncci? Can't we see that Vihiga, we have failed ourselves? If we had Uhuru as the patron, I keep on telling people wherever I go, Vihiga should be the Singapore of Western. It should be the Singapore of this country. It should be vibrant. We should have activities going on, industries going on. We have innovators. Did you know that there's a young man among us that is not here who innovated a certain system of the telephone? And it's being asked whether, I think maybe he has sold it out to somebody else. But it was one of its kind in this nation. Hapa Manyata too. But we don't know such. So anyway, as I was giving the introduction for Kncci, I want you to understand that Richard Ngate in his speech sometimes back said, there is a need to be inclusive. There is a need for all Kenyans to be included, or rather to be inclusive within business. Welcome, welcome. Within the business and the enterprises within the country, there's supposed to be inclusivity. There is a need for inclusivity. He said it with his own words, in his own words. If there is a need for inclusivity, don't get tired. I'm building us up towards a question and answer session. He said there is a need for inclusivity with Kenyans. Kncci, the past regime, I've been in Vihiga over about 8 years now, or probably 9 years. And the first place I landed from where I landed into Kncci. I was introduced by one sister of mine, who many people think I'm the daughter, but we are age mates. She's not here, but she'll come. She's the one who introduced me to Kncci when Honorable Jeff Bukaya was the CEO at that time. And I thought maybe I had found a better place, a good place. But it was not to be so, because the journey has been chilling. The journey has been, I cannot even tell it right now. But I want you to know that Ngate said Honorable Kncci said there's a need for inclusivity. When you look at the past regime, for me, the past 2 regimes, that's for me. Was there inclusivity? Were the 3 dialects we speak here in Vihiga, not even to mention the diaspora, were they represented? Did we have the persons living with disabilities? Did we have the women within this board of directors? Did we have the Europeans? Because they're here and they do business. I know some in my backyard. Did we have the Asians? Did we have the Somalis? Did we have the Muslims? Did we have the Hindus? I'm just asking, for those who've been in this regime for the last 6 years, tell me, have we had inclusivity? No. For me, there has been no inclusivity, but you can answer yourself. And Richard went on and said that this Chamber of Commerce is a modern vehicle to take Kenya forward towards her economic takeoff. It's a modern vehicle, for crying out loud, to take us to an economic takeoff. Seriously. Those who have been in business, other than 1, 2, 3 people I can mention here, but I'll spare them, who have actually worked and they have gone to another mileage. The rest of us are struggling and choking under there because of lack, probably of understanding, or not knowing our rights, or not knowing where to fall or look for help. But that was Richard Kncci who said it's a modern vehicle to take Kenya towards our economic takeoff. He said the restructuring of Chamber was to enable Chamber to effectively meet its demand, you know. We have a demand for business. We have a demand for staff, for goods. So there was a restructuring at Chambers. And it was meant to meet these demands, to facilitate entrepreneurship and business environment, to create job opportunities to the Kenyan population. Has Kncci Vihiga created job opportunities for the Vihiga masses? Our youth still struggle. They're struggling to look for a job. There are no jobs. And that's why somebody sent even a picture today on Kncci. Somebody was trying to break into their place because this man doesn't have a job. And that's the only job he knows he can do, is to mug, is to steal. So, as Chambers, have we really done our mandates? Have we had these people have jobs? Have we created job opportunities? I know of a company that has created job opportunities for these youths. The company is amongst us today. I will not mention it. I know of schools that have created job opportunities for our people in Vihiga. But that was their own way of doing it without the help of Kncci. But remember, Richard is here telling us that we are supposed to create a business environment that will create job opportunities for Kenyan population. And then we'll cry the county, hailipi, sisi wote tunatafuta kazi wapi? County. When we, the business community, are the employers of the masses in Vihiga, we can also even employ other people from outside if we have done away with the youth. I mean, having filled them in various fields in our offices, and they are no more now wenye hawatoshi. Inabidi tufanye nini? Tafute kutoka kule nje. But hatujafika pale manake, our people don't have jobs. And that's why even some of you are doing businesses, because you don't have jobs. And you thought, wow, let me just sell tomatoes like my brother here. Akidere. You know? So, ask yourself, Kncci is our business today. And we know that there was legislations that were passed, even as far as 1964. I mentioned earlier by Honorable Ngala, to the then speaker who was called Speaker Sled. This was to discuss matters of equality and inclusivity of Kenyan Africans. Do we have inclusivity in Vihiga County? We don't have it. Has anyone gone to challenge it in the assemblies? No one has, because your voice has been snapped out and choked up, and you've been threatened and told, don't even attend the community dialogue, because it doesn't mean anything to you. Because it's the undoing of this and that, but no, we are here to voice out. We want to get the best of the best. Because we are stuck with this too. But let me tell you, if you had information prior, as I finish, we would have had 4, 5, 6 people here running for the chair. We would have had 20 or 30 directors running for it. I'm telling you, next week would have been hot in Vihiga. People would be doing, what is it called, campaigns here and there. And money would be exchanging hands. But right now, is there money that is even exchanging hands? Because automatically, the directors are in. We have a list of directors that are already in. With that, I'm going to pick someone random who is on the Kncci wall kindly. Someone get to the Kncci wall. I want you to read out for me the directors that are there, minus the 2 people up there. Because I'm just warming up for the other. For the next set of the program. If you're on Kncci wall, and before we go there, we have a Wi-Fi. In this hall, you can all log into the Wi-Fi. The password is BP, that is in capital letters. I can't see the other one. I don't know whether it is H and then Maragoli. BPH and then Maragoli. That's the password. You can log in. And if you're on the Kncci ward, kindly give me the list of directors. I don't want to be the one reading. Darlene, where are you seated? Give me the list of the directors that have been enlisted for the elections next week. And I wonder who is going to elect one person in each slot. Give me the list of those names so that the members here, because we are mixed. I'm going to tackle a little bit of the membership issue and then membership, and then we can get to our moderators and into the next session. So quickly, they didn't give us the list of the directors that we have now. And she said, in short, I don't know, from Kncci, are you? Or you're not?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us why those people are just like that? Why they're not 20 or 30 of them?
I'll give you the list of directors. We have Director Jonah Omioma. We have Roderick, that is Rodis. We have Wycliffe Chabaya. We have Moses Akidadi. We have Caroline Andai. I hope somebody is listing down.
Sharp minds are listing down. I can see the incoming vice chair listing, being a list.
I said we have Jonah Omioma. We have Caroline Andai. We have Rodriguez. We have Moses Akidadi. We have Margaret Amimo. We have John Umebe. And Wycliffe Chabaya.
Have you all had the list? Those are the directors?
Those are the directors. Then we have our chairman is Dr. Billy Nyonje. The vice chairman has been Director Jacqueline Nyangwesu.
The vice?
Yes.
A question before you sit down, because I know that you work in the Kncci office. Because we want to be questioning from a level of knowledge. These directors were for the last regime or the incoming?
For the last regime.
And the incoming?
Not yet.
Do we have candidates?
Yeah, we have candidates.
Do you have excessive or the less?
They're the exact candidates. We don't have excess, we don't have less.
So there is no voting for them? Is that fair? Is that inclusive?
Good evening. I think a question was pressed on Darlene, and I would want to maybe add something before we continue. It is unfair for us to pose a question to Darlene because Darlene is just a secretariat assistant. The person we need to actually pose our question to is the county executive officer who is in charge of the secretariat. Unfortunately, I don't see him around. He's called George Omusuna. Now, if I can listen to Darlene, what she has shared are some names of directors who have actually shown interest in representing Vihiga chapter. But in real sense, she has not given us the names of current directors. Current directors will serve up to 8th of May. That is on Monday when we have our annual general meeting. Is when members now can appoint or elect new directors. What we have is a is just a composition of pick and try here and there of directors. And I think, I don't know, most of them are not here. If I can mention a few of them, let me start, if you allow.
It's okay because we are going there now.
The chairperson is Billy Nyonje. The vice chair is Jacqueline Nyangweso, but on acting capacity. The vice chair was in HIV. He's late, he died. Then we have directors, Margaret Amimo, Carol Andai, there is Joel Enane, there is John Amendi, there is Bruce Madete, there is Frank Ruangala, there is the late Margaret Amunga, there is Pamela Amunga, there are others I've just missed kidogo, but that is the composition. But what we have now is a composite, just a formation of, let's get Bagari, twende Kisumu, twende Mbali. But now, if you ask me, let me finish this because I will not have an opportunity because we are running out of time. If I can read the list of directors who have shown interest into actually presenting us, I hope I can be able to get the list because you don't ask me where I got the name, but I got it from the headquarters.
But you're not a member of Kncci?
I'm a member.
Okay.
The list is here. Let me read it to you. Oh, the list is here. I found it. Now, the members who are going to represent us are one, we have two members at the chairmanship. That is Dr. Billy Elias Nyonje, male chairperson. There is Jacqueline Lea Nyangweso. Hope you are taking note. Chair lady. There is Linda Libese Otswanga, vice chair lady. There is Rodriguez Oware Ambuka, director. There is Elijah Amona Aronda, director. There is Moses Akidadi Injenga, director. There is Jonah Raydon Omuyoma, director. Caroline Inyangala Andahi, director. Nixon Makuha Otenyo, director. John Jumba Dayala, director. Wycliffe Chabaya Ongonda, director. And Margaret Naftal Amim.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. And just that you know, all these people were invited. I specifically invited all of them. So there is no excuse other than one person who gave an apology that he will not be in attendance. That is Elijah Amona. But the rest of them noted it down and they're supposed to be here. So probably let's maybe blame it on something has come up or they will be here within no time. There's only one apology because I see some 2 or 3 directors around. We thank God for that. I hope you have taken note of the number of directors and the ones that were before and the ones that have shown interest and the exact number, to be precise, that, and we are getting into an election. So I'm wondering, this election is only for two persons, that is between Dr. Bidi Nyonje and Ms. Leah Nyangweso. Because the rest of them, it's like automatically. The vice chairperson is here with us also, Linda Libese, and also she didn't have an opponent. So we are left wondering exactly what happened here. And that's why the cognitive dialogue is here, because I know when we move out of this room, most of you are going to quote me and maybe 1 to 3 other persons. But I repeat by saying we are the voice of the community. It is our concern to see that there is equality, inclusivity that is practiced at this great group, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Because they say it by themselves. This is their banner. And when you go to their peer leadership, and these directors maybe was slotted in because you, as a person, was not available, you did not either have the fee or you are not a member. And probably no one reached out to you to tell you that you're supposed to be a member for KNCCI. Or if someone reached out to you, ulichukulia nini? Ukaipuuza. But you should know you're right within a community. As I finish, we have to understand that the Chamber of Commerce has a mandate, just like I've read there, to advise the government and the business community. There are quite a number of things the Chamber of Commerce Vihiga chapter has done through the county government. There are bills that were passed, especially on licensing and many other things. And there are some that are still pending at the county assembly. They have not been passed. But you have to know that they are supposed to advise the government and the business on trends of local and international trade. Trends of local and international trade. There is something that was achieved by this regime, something they call the certificate of origin. I don't know much about it. Nobody has sensitized me on it, but I think the directors will be able to talk about what is a certificate of origin and of what help is it to us as a community. There are quite a number of things that these people will look at. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to get into the second program, which is the question and answer. And this one, we are going through our moderators, and they will be asking questions. This is to the directors. I don't know how many directors are in the house, not the two contestants at the top. The two will wait a little bit. So we are going to the directors that are in the house. I don't know if your fellow directors in the house are Moses Akidadi. I don't know if you have your other, because they all got an invitation. I can only see you and Linda, and the rest of the others, I don't know. Any other director in the house, probably I missed out your face. Kindly show by your hand up. So, this a little number of Vihiga business community will only be led by 2 directors, unfortunately. The rest will be leading their own people, wherever they are, I don't know. Because if you cannot respect the voice of the people, and you think maybe we have malice behind you to push you against the wall, we don't have malice. We serve a sovereign God, and we have an honor before His feet to serve the community. And we cannot afford to be biased in a community like this, because when I am biased, you may sell me bad milk when I come to your shop. So I have to be careful. And we, the cognitive dialogue, have to be careful. So kindly, the 2 directors, you may take your seats there. We are getting into the question and answer. You will have time to do a brief introduction about yourself, the kind of business that you do within Vihiga County. And yes, of course, leadership comes with a whole lot of the trainers follow you, because you shall know them by their fruits. When you want leadership, we know you by your fruits. So you have to sell us and tell us who you are, because automatically you're in this post. Tell us the reason why we shouldn't tell the community to kick you out. Tell us why you're the best of the best. Kindly, Director Linda, the Vice Chair lady, take your seat there, if you don't mind. And Director Akidadi, take your seat too. So, ladies and gentlemen, this portion, I'm leaving it into the hands of our 2 moderators, They'll introduce themselves, what they do for a living, and which language they're going to moderate using. Welcome, mwalimu na mwenzangu.
Jambo. Mimi naitwa mwalimu Ibrahim George. Mimi ni mwalimu, pia mimi ni mwandishi. Sasa maswali ya CBC na mtaala mpya. Kwa hivyo karibu sana kwenye kipindi hiki.
Good evening. My name is Rehema Osanya. I'm a journalist by profession working with Vihiga FM, and I'm also a businesswoman. I'll be here to moderate, and I'll be using English for the questions to our director so that we understand better for those who might not be getting Swahili better. So thank you. For purposes of understanding better the works of our directors in the KNCCI, I would like our two directors to first give us a brief information about themselves, what they have been doing, because they have been in office, you understand, from 2018, some of the challenges that they have been facing, the achievements, the program that were initiated by the KNCCI, by the government, to the county government, how have they been obtaining benefits? If not, then they also be telling us whether the programs have challenges and what are the challenges. And thirdly, I would also like them to briefly highlight on the association of KNCCI with the county government. Some of the MOUs that were signed between the KNCCI, Vihiga chapter, and the county government of Vihiga, have they been participating in the budget and planning processes of the county government? Have they been part and parcel of the implementation of the county projects that have been ongoing? And so much more that we expect from them. So I'll start. Yes, Victor.
Thank you again, and with all due respect to today's initiative. Frank, if you could help, how many directors are we supposed to have in the chamber?
Once the AGM is held, we need to
How
have
many?
11.
11. So if we have 2 directors out of 11, I don't think it's representation enough for the chamber for them to give us answers to the questions that we have for what has happened in the last 6 years. The second thing is, if we don't have the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce in here, who is the accounting officer, then who are we going to ask questions of audit, questions of finances, questions of where our membership fee has been going to? It is my very considered opinion, very, very considered opinion, that as we go towards the 8th of May, we are going into a very shambolic election. And the good thing about the constitution of this country is it allows various avenues of approach. So as a business person in this county, I would strongly ask that we request the headquarters of KNCCI to postpone elections in Vihiga until we find out which avenues were used by the current leadership to inform us which annual delegates conference did we have where they said we are going into an election, that we are inviting people to submit their documents for election. This is the first meeting. I've been in this county. I was born and bred in this county. I've never had any meeting by KNCCI. This is the very first one, and it's not even organized by KNCCI. It is Kncci and the rest of them. So what are we going? Are we just going to rubber stamp forthcoming election? Are we just going to rubber stamp people who have allocated themselves positions as directors. Where was this CEO to say that this is where we are? Where is Acherik in this whole thing? Yeah, in the directors. Where even as it is, we don't meet the 2/3, 1/3 gender rule. We don't meet it. So what are we doing here? So in my considered opinion, and I don't know if Mswahili is still in the house, yeah, I would say that we can seek Evans' guidance on stopping this thing on the 8th and seeking to have a properly elected chamber representation from this county. Otherwise, what are you going to ask these two people? Are you going to ask them to give you audited books of accounts? Do you guys have audited books of accounts? So if they don't have them, what are we going to talk about? When you are saying we are going to talk about committees established in the county, it is the chairman. When the names of the current directors were being read by Frank, I had each and every single person of those people is either in a committee within the county government or is an employee of the county government, or in one way or the other, a representative of the county government. So that means that all these directors were using this as a stepping stone to get into committees within the county government, and forgetting about all these business people that are seated here, and nobody has been the voice of mama mboga huko nje, mtu wa bodaboda huko nje, you know, corporate business people. So what I would be looking at today is an endorsement from this team that we can allow Evans Mswahili to move to court tomorrow and stop this thing that we're going to call elections in Vihiga. And that is my 2 points. I will not personally participate in this dialogue beyond now if we are not going to change the narrative of where we want to go. And we have to face it and tell Billy he is accountable to us. We are the ones who elected them. And he has to come. I mean, a chairman cannot miss in a delegates conference. I mean, it's shambolic, to say the least. And it is like they are looking down upon us. That tunauza nyanya, tunauza vitunguu, we don't have a voice. But when the current serving president of the chamber is in Busia, you see all of them in Busia. So if they have time to go and meet with the current chairman in Busia and can meet with him in Kisumu, and they can go for meetings in Nairobi, but they cannot attend a meeting here in Vihiga, what does it tell you? That we are rubber mats that they can use. So,
thank you so much, Victor, Babu. And with that, Rehema, just hold on. You know, we just changed the way we are navigating the waters. We changed course a little bit. So I've heard the voice of Victor. He's speaking for the majority. But before we get into this, because he has given us an ultimatum, it's his. His opinion is valid, and it's his. But you know, we need to hear the voice of the rest of you. And as it is, I said we are the minority probably. But as I said, and you say, people say there is strength in numbers. But I said before, there is strength in the voice, in the heart, in the will. And we speak, and I continue to say, we speak for the community. Evans Mswahili, your name was mentioned. I don't know, probably tell us something before we know which direction to go, because we just changed course.
Jambo tena. Yeah, much as my name was mentioned, that doesn't give the whole discussion a conclusion per se. I want us to take the direction that you just proposed. His opinion was quite valid, and I want to believe he speaks for a lot many of us in the room. But it's always good for it to come out very clearly from the horse's own mouth, so that each one of us that has a similar opinion is given an opportunity here and now to be able to either add his or her voice to what he has said, or if any one of us has a contrary opinion, we also get to hear that contrary opinion, so that moving forward, if we have to take drastic action, then we be in a position that is very much justified, so that no one feels that they were sort of handed into a particular position.
It's okay, Evans, I hear you. And I think you should be the bottle top to cover up the bottles after all has been said and done. So I see a hand up, and I think there's something, probably.
Thank you so much. The height of hypocrisy is when you get into office and you forget what took you into that office, and you start doing what you believe is best for you and a few people around you, and not the responsibilities that are bestowed in that office. I want to echo what Victor has said, but then I'll take a little deviation, because I believe this meeting might not be able to have the mandate to stop the election, but the AGM has. Yeah, I stand corrected. There is an AGM that is coming up, and I believe AGM always has much more weight over issues like election, those who are contesting, among other issues. Yeah? So if probably with this group that is here, if we can be able to approach this issue from the forthcoming AGM, then we'll be able to look at it in terms of much more weight being carried on that particular day. But he's right that the business community in Vihiga has been neglected. The other day we were discussing, and then I said, on the KNCCI wall, someone said, KNCCI is for a few rich individuals. Yeah? And then I was boiling with anger, and then I was just wondering, I believe business goes deep to Mama Mboga, who has, or somebody from the village who has 20 shillings that is taking them to the market. Business has someone who is carrying 50 shillings and coming with it to your shop, to your business premises, to be able to promote you. It is not among the select few, as we had at the beginning. Those creme de la creme, as they put it, most of them, they do not do business in Vihiga. They do business out of this county. Yeah? Many people who promote our business people here are the common Kncci, the middle class and the lower class. And those are the people that I believe that we should be looking forward to promote. So, do we go by this meeting's resolution and then move it forward into the AGM to get a rubber stamp on the way forward?
Anybody with another opinion?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stephen Jahasi, and first of all, let me appreciate for the very important role you played, being a business person, and also having done business in Vihiga County for a number of years now, and also having been a member of Chamber of Commerce. I can tell you for a fact that we've never had such an engagement. And we've only met sometimes because being civil society members also about doing business, we've met in other forums. And I've also been asking myself, why can't we have the same people organizing similar forums that we attend the other side? Anyway, that is not the point I want to put across. What I want to say is that there is a madam who is here, Daktari. She talks very, very weighty issues. In fact, if each and every person was listening to her, then right now you will have made up your minds that even if there is election ahead, it is not based on scorecard. I've ever been a candidate in some political scenario. I can tell you that we do mistakes and then thereafter we keep on crying. Say for example, we want to have this team maybe
some service. I remember there is a time, as the civil society, we went in the market collecting signatures to have at least a change in finance bill. That is a role that is supposed to be played by Kncci. All of you are aware, if you can go to assembly and check on the outside. Some of you hata mliona kwa mtandao, Stephen Jas and the rest of the people, they have petitioned the finance bill. What am I saying? Are we going to have a leadership that is just seen in office that benefit from some of the services or some of the offers that has according to that office, but when it comes to the common citizen, they don't benefit. Common citizens don't receive anything. Finally, on the issue of postponement of election, I want to say that my brother has a very valid point. However, the way my brother also has said, there is a need to have a very clear ways of doing it, because it is not something that you just wake up and say we are going to stop it. We should compile the reasons why it has to be stopped. Some of you maybe you like being led that way. Some of you are just happy the way it is. Some of you are used to status quo. And some of you, the mistake you are making now, mnagandamiza wale wadogo ambao hawana uwezo, those who cannot come here. You make them to suffer at the expense of you people, those people who know what they are supposed to do and they fail to do it. Alafu wale wanaanza kuumia. Ask yourself, whether it will stop here or at the ATM or elsewhere or at the ballot, what is your role and how are you going to assist the common citizen of Vihiga aweze kupata haki yake? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen Jahasi. Thank you for those points. Rehema, quickly.
Okay, I wanted to give direction based on what has been raised. I think I want to applaud Madam Anne for the schedule, the meeting. And the aim of this meeting, to my understanding, to have a dialogue, to have something at least to discuss, be able to understand that those who are in Kncci and are not aware of what has been happening within the chapter, especially in Vihiga. So it is of my feel that we allow the directors and members to at least give a brief for those who don't understand, that those who are giving conclusions based on what they understand better on what is currently going on with the Vihiga chapter. But can we kindly give an opportunity for those who don't understand to at least know a few issues that have been, if there has been teething issues within the chapter, to at least understand better. That is just my feeling. Maybe I can allow Anne to get some.
Thank you, Rehema. Thank you for that point. Because even as she was speaking, someone whispered into my ears and asked, why did we call the directors here then? Because already there's the conclusion of this meeting according to them. But we have not concluded anything. We called here this meeting. We, the cognitive dialogue, we called for a dialogue. We shied away, and as you look at even our logo and our words, the way they are put, it's the cognitive dialogue. For the English speakers, for those who understand English, and English is your first language, you will understand cognitive. You use all your senses into speaking, into giving out something to the people, to the person that is before you. So you're not just speaking, you're speaking from your heart. You are listening to your heart. And you have to speak it out and have a dialogue with whoever is before you so that you can come to a common ground and a common argument. And that's why we always shy away from the word debate. Because debate, we would have quickly called the director, put them in a podium, and gaslit them. And left them blowing up, We would pin them on the wall and bring the skeletons out and dangle them before them. And before they know it, they've just gone down and they've lost hope in whatever they were doing. That's what most debates do. But for a dialogue, it's dialoguing. It's to have a chat. It's to talk to our directors, to get to understand them, to know who they are, to know their challenges, to know their strengths and even their weaknesses and the contribution towards this business society in the entire Vihiga. So as we continue, we are dialoguing. That's why I like Victor had a leading question there that has had us discuss a few things. And as we continue, even as you look at your mind and think and try to search your heart concerning Kncci and concerning the elections and leadership in Kncci, because that is the bone of contention. It's the leadership. We need to dialogue with them. So even as you're thinking that, we need to have introductions from the two directors who are here. I know it's not quorum, but you just need to listen to them as you're thinking in between, because the microphone will give it to you. You will speak. And at the end of this meeting, at the end of this cognitive dialogue, we'll have achieved something and a common ground. But one thing you have to understand that Kncci has structures. You have to be a member in order for you to vote. So there are people who are not here and they are voters. Some of them, even me as a member, I don't know them. I've never seen them, but I've seen them on the register. I don't know the kind of business they do. I don't know where they do their business. I don't know whether they are residents of Vihiga or they do businesses outside there. But they are on the registry, on the voters registry, and they will give a vote on the 8th of May. And that is where my brother is coming from, because there's quite a number of issues that are going on. We don't have the CEO here. He's aware. I announced this meeting during a launch of one of our own here. For all and sundry. This was an open invitation. It was not a closed invitation where you walk in with a card. No, we have done those ones before, where you walk in with a card, but this one is open. Even anyone right now can walk in. So we cannot be blamed on that. But now the thing is this, they have not turned up. What does that show you? If you plan a wedding and the groom doesn't turn up, does that groom love the bride? I'm asking a question. If you... Yeah, the wedding is not there, but this one, we cannot say the dialogue is not there. The dialogue has to go on because there are people there. And you see, that's what they want us to call off the dialogue. I've received, just a moment, I'm going to give you. I've received here and there information that we need to call off the dialogue, but we are not calling it off because we have to start from somewhere. We have to have the first step and then continue. So as we are doing this, before I give this to Frank, to say what he has to say, I want Rehema to continue with what she was doing and raise up your issues, your concerns. We are live on Facebook. We are live. Even the link is on Kncci, and everybody, those who are afraid of being seen here, are watching it. Even our chairman is watching it.
Are we in agreement?
I would maybe in moving forward,
because all of us have spared some time to be here for this. In moving forward, as a business person, when you go to the market and you sometimes your wares are not attracting fairly to the buyers, you have to look on how to make a coin. Now, in making a coin, at least we have some directors, and in the house we have the big, we know the big point here is who is going to offer leadership. I can see Madam Jacqueline here, whom I mentioned, chairperson, chairlady is around. Let's go straight to the points. Let us get to know them and how they are going to move us forward from this point.
Okay, I think we are all in agreement that we give them time to at least give a brief of what they have been doing for the past 6 years. Is that okay?
yes.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Moses Akidadi Njenga. I come from Vihiga, Sabato constituency. And before I continue, based on what has taken place or what has been going on, I think I want to submit to you that Vihiga is the most luckiest county to have an election. I was in a meeting that was held in Kisumu recently, and I noticed amongst the 14 counties in the Lake Region Economic Bloc, only 2 counties are having an election for the chairperson only. So moving forward, I'm so much happy because one, this is a starting point for chamber vibrancy, and I believe this engagement will go down in history in helping chamber being transformed. Where I said this is a period of renaissance. Going by the question you asked, personally I'm a media personality by profession, journalism and mass communication, print media. I've worked for chamber since 2018 as a communication and advocacy officer. And I've seen a number of achievements since I came to chamber in terms of vibrancy and visibility. When I came under the site program, since then we have seen a number of activities starting from youth in business in 2018 at Tipoti Hotel. Then I saw us participating in county investment program at Sosa Cottage. That one I attended. Even in Kncci, I have some photos as evidence. Thereafter, we held Youth in Business back in 2020 in Kaimosi. I've seen a number of women in business activities taking shape. I've seen a number of exhibitions. And one thing I learned about chamber, one, chamber has been vibrant, is only that the only thing I've learned about Vihiga is perception of people. I say that there has been a very well representation of the business community. For every chamber growth, it requires membership and the value for money. And that value for money can only come during the monitoring of the budget cycle, the budget calendar, when it comes to finance bill. I'm happy my brother cited something to do with the finance bill. And when they presented the inputs, I also submitted a memorandum through the former CEO and the current CEO to the county assembly. And I can say from my experience, for every successful of chamber and the representation of the business community, there must be a cordial working relationship with the government. And in the previous board, I've seen a number of people sitting on the boards, County Budget Economic Forum, which is a key body in influencing of the representation of the business committee in terms of the budget cycle. I've seen some directors on Vihiga County Trade Enterprise Fund. And one of the achievements, someone was saying somewhere, the main agenda of chamber is to create employment. Through the office of the national office, we gave out over 15 million to SMEs in Vihiga after the COVID-19. When there was a when COVID-19 came, we gave out 15 million to over 700 businessmen. And the only challenge I've seen in Vihiga, people have been taught free things. Some other counties like Kakamega, if you go there, people will give you testimonies that business people have really grown. But there is a wrong mentality in Vihiga. When you take money, they belong to the government, run away with it. So even before we debate, we have to understand that the SMEs of Vihiga, more than 700, received 31,200 shillings, and that money has never been returned.
So, I've seen Chamber grow as a director. The only challenge I've come to know about Chamber is in terms of sustainability. That's why me as a director, I got interest to come on board so that I can help. You know, for Chamber to represent the business community, it must be stable. So there is a little bit of challenge with revenue generation because majority of the SMEs in Vihiga are small scale traders, and when you can compare a chapter like Mombasa, when we recruit around 1,000 people, that is 1,000 times 1,000, that is almost around 1 million. And Mombasa does only 100 people with over 1 million each, you can imagine. So I've come on board because one, I want to help in the sustainability of Chamber. Two, mostly bodies where policies are being influenced, not on the secretariat. So I've come there so that I can be able to help based on the good ideas I've been working at the secretariat, so that we can push and then monitor the budget cycle. We understand what happens during January, February. When is the finance bill being submitted at the county assembly? When is the budget being submitted at the county assembly? So I want help in the growth of the chapter of Chambers in terms of sustainability. And one of my main projects I want to initiate in Vihiga on board is to ensure Chambers of Commerce has rentals, buys its own land. We don't pay rent. You know, when we don't pay rent, we are able to pay office workers from the rentals, like with the way Kisumu is doing. Kisumu is making over 2 million through rent. So I don't have much to say from there. My name is Moses Akidadi.
Clap for Moses.
Okay, let's allow Madam to also give us a brief of what she understands about Kncci and what they have been doing. Introduction. Kindly be brief.
Okay. Sit or stand. You are as tall as I am, so I don't know that I see you. It's okay. The convener, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. Good evening to you. Good evening. This is a great opportunity. I really applaud the team that has come up with this kind of a forum. And I believe going forward, this is the way to be, isn't it? Yeah. And I would say that Kncci, I being a member of Kncci, I've been there for over 5 years, but I went through Wasingishu chapter, and I decided home is always the best, isn't it? I'll say that I am how do I put it? I'm vying for this seat. I'm not yet in the office. As you say, I give out the audit report. I'll not be able to present my audit report. We have the office. We are just new contestants that we are going in for the new office to make sure that we move the chamber forward and make a difference in Vihiga, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So I'll try to highlight some of the key points that I thought that will make a difference to us as business people, business partners, and I believe that one will make a broad daylight in Vihiga. One, I would like to say that we are members of Vihiga, and being members of Vihiga, it means that me and you will be able to make a difference, isn't it? Yeah. One, first and forward, we need actually to create a good relationship with the county government. That is step number one, for us to become members. And when you are members, we know that the governor has come up with his own CIDP report. He has his own physical outlook paper, and believe through that we can be able to benefit. And this one will always make our people to benefit. Yeah, our people will be able to benefit out of this. And being a business empire, will be able to do what we are able to do. I would say the other day I was with Musalia Mudavadi, and I believe being our cabinet prime minister in Nairobi, and being our own, let's take advantage, let's create a good relationship between him and our people on the ground. We were presenting our Western business blueprint, and I believe that the blueprint will be able to make us grow, be like other counties. Let's not believe in handouts, like our people at home, you know, Mheshimiwa nimekuja kwako nipatie sukari, isn't it? If you empower that person, it means that that person will be able to empower himself and will support other people on the ground. So I believe if you have that, and he had so many concerns. One of the concerns I would say that he was asking about the EPZ. If we have actually completed about the EPZ, he is also interested about our tea. We have our factory here. What difference are we making about our tea? So we need to come up with a serious blueprint going forward that can actually empower us at the county level and Western as a whole to bring business at home. And then I would like also to say that we do a lot of businesses around. And like I can say, could be Jahasi selling tomatoes, another person is selling coffee, how are we going to empower that person? On our MCCI programs, we say that we facilitate exhibitions. I've attended most of the exhibitions and I've seen them. Those people are able to do exports, imports and exports. I was in Naivasha the other day and I saw that out of the GDP of our market share, we found out that Naivasha, they're doing a lot of business and they're the main key people who are actually bringing a lot of revenue to us when they export flowers. So when it comes to Vihiga, what are you people doing to make a difference on the same? So we need to actually look at that, and having a lot of engagements with people outside Kenya. We can ask ourselves, what do we do in Maragoli? Chahasi, if I can ask you, in Vihiga as a whole, what business do you think we can do? Like if Kncci are doing tea, what can we do in Vihiga?
You buy a lot of vegetables from outside.
Horticulture, very good. Let's clap for her. Horticulture, what I mean is that we need to go into agribusiness. And since we have small chambers around, we can do a lot. And if you go into agribusiness, the other day, the Germans had signed a contract with the Kncci. They've signed an MOU, and they're going into agribusiness. The other day, Mr. Ngatia had said that they've signed an MOU, and going forward, they're going to explode our airport, Eldoret, having given that Eldoret is going to become a city. A lot of business will be coming from there. We can export through Eldoret other than just Nairobi. Don't you think it's a step for us as Vihiga? Isn't it? So we need to go into that. We can do greenhouses. We can do, we can go into that agribusiness, and I believe the tomatoes, how many of that we'll be able to do. And then when it comes to our counties, we have a lot of charges that are being charged. As Kncci, we need actually to advocate for the same by actually consolidating.
We kindly wanted to have a brief of what you understand and who you are, so that you see you're already giving way forward. And we have not yet had the discussions yet. I know our members still want to know you more. And what are some of the things, the challenges that have been facing the Kncci Vihiga chapter kindly. We've had Mr. Kidali talk about some of the few challenges, achievements. So we would also wish to hear from you on the same.
You wanted to know about the challenges facing Vihiga?
Yeah, Kncci chapter.
We need a brief introduction.
A brief introduction about you.
We need to know you.
Okay.
Yes.
Personally, I would say I'm a marketer. As a person, and I like talking too much and marketing myself as a brand. So I would say that the the challenge, I would say that I'm not in the office to get to know, but I'm trying to talk about what we think, what we've not been doing, and what we think we can do ahead of us, isn't it? Those are the challenges that we've not been doing, and we need to get to know what we think we can do ahead of us to make a difference in Vihiga, isn't it? I'm not getting the question. Yeah?
Maybe let me try and expand for her. Maybe probably.
Because if you ask me about the challenges in the office when the auditor...
It's okay, Linda. Linda, we understand you. We get you. You know, a marketer has bubbling words within her mouth. Yeah. Now, the question is this. Who is Linda? Why does she do business? Why does she reside in Vihiga? And why does she want this position of the chairperson, vice chair lady? What do you want to do in Kncci for the Vihiga people? Who is Linda? Why does she reside? Where do you do your business? Do you have a business?
Yes, I do.
Tell us, tell the people.
Fine. My name, I said Linda Libese. I come from Vihiga. I say that Evojo, if you know Evojo, that is where I come from. But because of my networking, I think I move across the country and outside the country to do my business. I do digitize business, and I believe going forward, they are also going to prioritize Vihiga to build the digitized platform, so that you're also going to go ahead and do online business as a marketer. So I market a lot of things. I do insurance as a person and banking, and I believe through that I've been at Barclays Bank, the former Barclays Bank, that is Absa Bank, as a marketer, and I believe we have an initiative that we have in Absa Bank that is going to support that program.
It's okay. Do you have a business in Vihiga?
Yes, I do.
What is the name of the business? Because we'd love probably to promote you like we want to promote Patrobas. Patrobas, the soyas are not moving. Give these people, it's getting cold. They should be able to give you 100 bob or 200 bob. Now, you know, we want Patroba does reside here, does soya business within here. So your business directors to there, we would want to maybe purchase one or two things or to know more about digital stuff in the digital space within Vihiga.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, my briefcase is my office, isn't it? Isn't it? I would say that my briefcase is my office, and I do a lot of agribusiness that is online. The other day we had a meeting with the Malaysia team, and we invited them to our team. And I'd say that we do a business in Vialo. That is, if you come at our home in Vialo, you'll find what I do, agroponic. I can actually, you can make a visit on what I do on agroponics, because I go across the country. So you can't just confine me in Vihiga at one place. But I thought bringing the same in Vihiga will make a difference, isn't it? Can you clap for me?
Okay, thank you, Linda. Yes. But I would also want to hear from you. You want to be the vice chair of the Kncci.
Yes.
By you going for that position, there are some issues that you understand better about the business community of the county. Do you understand them? What are some of these issues that you felt have not been addressed by the existing team within the chapter that you feel need to be addressed, or if given an opportunity, you'll be able to address them, if you understand better the business community of Vihiga County?
To begin with, I would say that we value our business at our doorstep. Step number one, actually I was talking about capacity building. Our people need to be trained and get to know about what's all about the chamber. And when we do the benchmarking between the two people, they'll be able to know exactly what they're doing. And secondly, we talk about, we advocate for our licenses, because we get all our licenses so that our customers, members do not pay a lot of fees or levies to their businesses, because money is an issue. And then we have our county assembly. I thought going forward, our county assembly should be able to initiate laws that can be beneficial to us at our county level. I think that is all what I can say. And moving forward, we can be able to empower ourselves. And I know that once we do this, we'll be able to what is expected of us. And more so, it is a game of numbers. We need to do a serious recruitment drive in different categories. We need to actually engage our political wing as well. Even our prime cabinet minister, Musalia Mudavadi, should be a member of this chapter, isn't it? Our ministers, our senators, we need to come up with a platform that we think that we can categorize them into different levels. I heard him saying that Mombasa, there are only 100 members and they're paying $1 million bob. Safaricom, they're paying $1 million bob as members of the chamber. You're selling tomatoes. How much are you paying to the chamber? Isn't it? So we think that if we advocate that, we'll be able to move forward and be able to move our chamber ahead of the game, and it will be among the best out of other chapters. And I believe we need to take the advantage of having a leader from this point to make it grow. And our network is what? Our network is what? Our network. Your members, and you don't know. Our network is our network. That is the business. Your business is our business. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Linda, before you sit and I allow my colleague to also comment. Although I'm not contented with the response in regard to business community of Vihiga County, but currently we understand there are some programs that the chapter has been undertaking in collaboration with the county government of Vihiga, and which, if given an opportunity as the vice chair, you need to follow up and continue working or making them better than they have been done before. What are some of the issues or how best has the program been that have been undertaken by the chapter moved to the betterment of the business community of Vihiga? What is your feel about the programs? Are they helping any businessman within Vihiga County? Are they not in any, do they understand better? Kindly.
I think I had mentioned somewhere that we need to do a lot of capacity building, isn't it? And when you do a lot of capacity building, I'll have answered the question. Because I'm moving forward to ensure that member A and member B knows what they're doing and why are they the members of the Kncci. Right?
It's okay. Thank you. Therefore, Linda.
Okay, before my colleagues comes in, and then I will also allow you members to ask questions to Mr. Kidali. You've talked of the exhibitions, some of the engagements you've had. You have been part of and parcel of the operations of Kncci Vihiga chapter. Kindly for the youth, kindly give a success story about the youth of the exhibition and the forums. In regard to promoting, protecting, and coordination of the business within Vihiga County. We have some groups that were formed, as you mentioned, the youth in business, women in business, and other groups that came in terms of promoting what they do within the Vihiga County. What are the achievements? And you also gave us a brief, you understand you've been in the communication department. There was that program, the CP program that was initiated within the Kncci. I kind of gave a brief of the progress of the program that those members who might not be understanding about the Center of Excellency program that was initiated in Vihiga. What extent has the chapter gone within 6 years?
Thank you so much. I love being a living testimony. When I came to Chamber, I had no any idea to do with the business. So the first event I attended was at Triple T on Business Forum. I got a lot of ideas. I got being inspired. And I thought of myself like, I don't want to be in a chapter whereby I'm not leading by example. So And I give much appreciation to Kelvin Kea for organizing such a forums, which after the meeting, I had 4,000, I ran at Kisa and I bought a sanduku of tomato and I started distributing door to door. If you move to my area, they will tell you Baba Nyanya is here. So out of that, personally, I was inspired. So I asked myself how many young men have been inspired. So there is a young man here called Halan Shebi, who was part of the forums. He had no any business, but currently is running a poultry business. Then he has a posho mill in his village through such a forum. There are so many examples, but I've cited few. We have so many young men and women who have been inspired through these forums. And going back to SIPE program, SIPE came in terms of to make chamber self-sustainability in setting up of the office structure. Previously, we had the office, but there was no structure, no way of engaging them, and even to do with the chain of communication. So when SIPE came in, we improved in membership because one, there was mobility in terms of you are being given a means of transport. Personally, I've been monitoring chamber register of membership since 2016. In 2016, we had 120 members. In 2017, we had 156 members. In 2018, when I came in May, we had 180 members. At the end of the year, we had 276 members. In 2019, we had 390 members, and we were top 2 at national level in terms of recruitment. 2, SIPE has helped us in terms of vibrancy and the visibility of the chapter. And previously, we had no chamber platforms. Right now, when you go, you can see there is chamber Twitter, there is chamber Facebook, and there is chamber website. So in terms of visibility, I've seen SIPE coming in, and recently they gave us 1 million. It has helped us in terms of peace. You know, we had an electioneering period, so the funds helped us in terms of advocating for peace across the county, and so many other programs of capacity building for the business community. Because of time, because I'm one man who keep time, I've explained in brief what you have asked.
Okay, we talked about the issues of what you have achieved in terms of the exhibition and some of the forums that you attended you as a youth. You previously talked about the issue of the Trade Enterprise Fund. And I would like you to at least expound on what were the challenges, because Chambers of Commerce, as it is supposed to promote, protect, and coordinate the businesses, and also help in development and promoting of the county programs. If indeed the chapter was in with the county government to promote the business community, what are the challenges that why has it been very not easy for the recovery of the funds from the business community?
First of all, Rehema, I want you to understand that Trade Enterprise Fund is different from MasterCard.
MasterCard was directly run by Chambers of Commerce. Trade Enterprise Fund is being run by the county government, but through the representation of Chamber, we had the Vice Chair, the late Boaz Indeche, who was sitting on that board. He really helped us in a number of ways, because when one becomes a member of Chambers, there is value for money. And since he was the vice chair, coming from Chamber, we used to give him some of the members who could access loan through the Trade Enterprise Fund. And one of the challenges the Trade Enterprise Fund has faced, similar to MasterCard, I had said earlier on, there is a very wrong mentality among the SMEs of Vihiga County that every money that comes freely. And I'm happy one of the contestants of chairmanship, Madam Jacqueline Nyangweso, is here. He runs a microfinance called Step and Fly, and she will bear witness. Vihiga SMEs are the hardest people to deal with when it comes to giving back the loan they have taken. So what we need to do for the business community, we have to do much of capacity building. We have to come in and assist our SMEs and tell them the biggest empires or businesses that has been built on this world, especially in the Central region, were built because of loans. And the biggest challenges that has been facing our SMEs when they take this money, they don't channel it into business. Some of them pay school fees. Some of them see that they are like free money. They go and even drink. So when it comes to giving back or returning back, it has always been a very serious challenge. And I believe there has been an audit report on the Trade Enterprise Fund. So the same challenges that we're facing on return of the funds is the same thing we face with the MasterCard. We have to tell our people there is no free money, and when you get money, kindly return.
Okay, we've talked about the MasterCard funds that were coordinated by the Chambers of Commerce. Is it a program? Okay.
Just a moment. I want us to go very fast because time is not on our side. And when you ask a question, try and be brief because we need to bring in, we have one of the candidates who is here for the chairperson. And the time is actually, we are about, it's just a few minutes to 6. So we need to wind up with our Kidadi and then have our Swahili person go through. Yes. And then now we can bring in Madam Jackie.
Okay.
Yeah, kindly.
Let's finalize Kidadi about the MasterCard. You talked about 15 million with the Trade Enterprise Fund given out to the business community. You've mentioned of 1 million that was meant for the advocacy and sensitization during the political period last year. And how about the MasterCard? Maybe members might not be very much conversant of how the chamber has benefited through that program, and maybe a few of the challenges. That is, how much has been allocated for the 6 years in regard to the MasterCard program.
Maybe to be in brief, I will go back direct to the MasterCard. 15 million was given to over 700 SMEs of Vihiga, and to my surprise, Vihiga only 2 million was recovered. That represents almost around 5% of it. And compared to other counties, they did well in terms of return. This is a program that was signed at the head office between the Richard Ngacha, the president of Chamber, and the MasterCard Foundation. It is continuous, but based on return. So Vihiga, for those who took MasterCard, we have to reach out to them to repay so that other people might benefit.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kidali. Naomba tumalize.
There was a hand raised somewhere. Just be brief because we need to get to the point and we need to wind up our meeting.
Me, I'm Nicholas Obiambo, Organizing Secretary in Bala, and I'm a member of Chamber of Commerce. And I'm very surprised the way I know everything must be strategically planned. How we are giving money and how we are recovering it back. So, in the real sense, there is a Madam Linda, I think there is a question of coming to you. There is a very big poor planning on the side where the committees, the directors were, because even Mbale people, they have benefited. How much money have they given back? Sisi kama viongozi wenye tuko Mbale town, there was a very bad communication with the Chamber of Commerce, especially leaders with the Tugo. Tunaongea tu pale nje ya town, but ikifika reality, what are we doing? Next question, ninaenda kwa Madam Linda. What are you planning for all markets within Vihiga County for your plans as you are contesting for that seat of Vice Chair Lady? That is my question.
Thank you very much. I'm Koli Munyora. I do not really want to go into details because first, I'm not a member of the chamber. I think the first time I tried being close to the chamber was during the interviews of the CEO. And you see, the chamber, from my own professional experience, we have organizational problems in terms of putting up systems. So it's upon the members to try and put up the systems on who we have a debt recovery strategy. So those are the things that are actually missing in the chamber, which we need to professionally come with them, including the meetings, the general meetings and the annual general meetings, and how the reports are tabled. And it's a challenge to the young professionals to now try and see how to professionalize the chamber to achieve its objectives. Otherwise, we might even change the directors, put others, but those things will still remain the same if we don't have the structures in place. Thank you.
Okay, let's allow Madam Linda to answer the question from Odhiambo.
Thank you once more. The question he asked me is about what are we planning about our markets in Vihiga. I would say that I believe in every category there must be a leader, isn't it? And when you have a leader, we must have systems the way he has put it. So through this, there must be a committee that will be able to endeavor and choose their leaders. If you have leader A, akona troop yake, like police, the way they have this full A, full B, like that. So I believe we'll be having leaders, and that is done through the Ministry of Trade and through the county government, and that one will be able to guide us, because we're not just doing it as KNCCI. We are doing it in conjunction with the county government. And remember, I had said that we need to create good relationship with the governor. We know through his CIDP report we'll be able to help us, and through the outlook paper that he has, we are part and parcel of it. And since we are part and parcel of it, we need to just create that good relationship. PR is very important. And to be able to make our members at the ground level to be able to grow. I talked about digitized system. You're in here, you're ordering something in China, sijueka kwa ndege fanya nini ifike hapa. Sai you're going digital. And since you're going digital, I believe the incoming two presidents, we are not going to work on local, we are going to ensure that we put system as he puts it. Once we put the system, we are good to go. Thank you so much.
Maybe before I answer my question, under Ministry of Trade there is a Market Community Management Act, which even you understand you are a part of the leadership of the market because of the structure. So I want to answer your question. MasterCard, we had a little bit of problem in terms of organization, and through the next program we are going to have structured. We are going to structure it so that when we go to the market, we know the market leaders understand this person is in business, the history of the person, and so on. So when we give our money, it won't get lost.
Thank you for that session. I need us to, when you see me standing, actually it's because of the time, so I need us to be brief. When you ask a question, get onto the point, just the exact point. I want to give Mwalimu Ibrahim a chance to just ask probably one question in Swahili, and then we'll usher in the next program that is getting to the main candidates, the two candidates up there, and then we'll have a question and answer session from the plenary, and then as we finish up.
Asante sana Kncci. Swali langu ni hili, kumekuwa na miswada ambayo isiyokamilika ama ile ambayo inasubiriwa, pending bills kwa hao wafanyabiashara. Je, mnapangilia mipangilio zipi ili muhusishe county government ili ziweze kukamilika?
Asante sana mwenzangu kwa swali hilo ambalo umeuliza. Kusema kweli, wapo wanabiashara ambao wanafanya biashara na serikali yetu ya county, na unapata kwamba hawajaweza kulipa pesa zao kupitia kwa bodi ambayo tuko nayo kwa sasa, ambayo inaenda kuidhinishwa maybe tarehe 8. Hakikisha kwamba tumefuatilia ili kuhakikisha kwamba, unajua chamber inashughulika sana na advocacy, na wanasema advocacy is a process na inaendelea. So through that engagement tutafikia kuhakikisha kwamba pesa zimelipwa. Manake pesa za biashara kama zimelipwa, biashara zinasimama. Wanabiashara wengi wanadepend kwa circulation of funds to run their businesses. Kama pesa zijalipwa, napata kwamba biashara pia zinaathirika.
Asante sana Director Kidadi, now the incoming chairperson, that is if things don't change, but we hope that things can change for the better, and that we'll have something that is conclusive within Vihiga County where we can depend on the leadership of KNCCI. Thank you very much for availing yourself and for making this time. We don't take it for granted that you took the heat and you came, you arrived. Somebody was in Mombasa actually, and I know she made a point of getting, how she got here I don't know, but she made a point of coming all the way from Mombasa just to attend this dialogue. Yet we have people within Vihiga who have not attended this dialogue. So when the people are looking at leadership, we look at certain kind of things such as those. And the way these people have taken up the heat from the servanthood within them. We thank you, we applaud you, and we look forward to more engagements and more dialogues actually. This is just but the beginning of the dialogue. So kindly you can take back your seats, and then as we usher in the next program, you may also have to engage with Mr. Asahulu, just right at the back. He may guide you, Akidadi and Linda, you may go back at the back where Mr. Asahulu, that young guy with a laptop, so that he can engage you further. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to give ourselves tujipigie makofi just to warm up. Kama unafikiri hizo makofi ndio sawa, pigie basi. Jipigie makofi kwa kutoa hapa na kukuja hapa. Si rahisi. Si rahisi kabisa. It takes the hand of God to be here, and amid so many challenges, and even with the weather outside, and you've left your businesses just to take heed to the call to have a dialogue with our people and our leaders. But you can see for yourselves what Kncci is all about and what we want it to be. It's a giant asleep. It's a sleeping giant. And it can only be awakened by you and me. And we can only do this when I hold his hand and another person's hand and another person's hand. And we can only look at this because we have a generation ahead of us. You know, we are building a heritage for our children, not even for ourselves. So when we are looking at Vihiga as the next Singapore, it begins with Kncci Creations. It begins with the Akidadi. It begins with any other person. It begins with Mwalimu. It begins with Rehema. And begins with the chair of Boda Boda who has sat here patiently, and the rest of you. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I'd like to usher into the next person. There are two candidates, but unfortunately, we have only one candidate here, and she's a lady. She'll introduce herself, even as she comes in, and the panel can take over and see how to go about that. Madam Jackie, welcome very much. Thank you for being here and for taking the seat. You may choose to stand, you may choose to sit, you may choose to walk around. It's all yours.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, all. I was getting worried because the real audience I wanted to address have been walking out. So maybe before I introduce myself, I'm a candidate, and for me to be the chair of Vihiga chapter, I need to be voted in. Who amongst us are voters? Registered voters of Vihiga Chamber of Commerce, registered members, valid members, so that come Monday, the 8th, you will vote. Thank you. Yeah, because why I need that, I need your vote. Because I might talk a lot of this dialogue, and at the end of the day, without your vote, it will only be mere talk. I'm Jacqueline Leanyagoso. I'm the director of Step and Fly. Step and Fly is microfinance that is in Western region, Nyanza region, and Rift Valley region. We have links into the Nairobi region, but without physical office. But the regions have mentioned Western region, Nyanza region, and Rift Valley, we have physical offices. That is that. Now, I've been an acting vice chairperson of Chamber of Commerce for the last 1.5 years after the demise of our then vice chair, Kncci. And while in the acting position as vice chair, I saw a gap that when I offered myself to be part of the leadership of Chamber of Commerce, I've been called all sorts of names. I'm coming in to spoil the brew. Nimeleta siasa kwa Chamber, nimeleta siasa Vihiga, and I thank my colleague Akida Moses. You see, Vihiga, other than one more county, of the 14 counties in the Western Nyanza region, is the only county going into election. And to me, it's a plus because that is why we are here. If I had not offered myself to be a candidate, then the day will be done. You'll only be told, oh, who are now the new directors for the next 3 years. But because I stood, even if I would not get the vote of the day, I carry the day, at least I would say I made Vihiga know there is Chamber and what Chamber is all about. And the majority of us will now be actively members of Chamber to drive the voice of the business person in Vihiga County.
Karibu sana madam. Nitaenda kwa swali la kwanza. Hii Chamber una maoni gani nayo, na wakati ambapo ulikuwa naibu mwenyekiti, je, ni mafanikio yapi ambayo ulipata?
Maoni ama maono ama is it the vision or the vision? One thing I'll do to give credit to my colleagues if I get into the office, my vice chair and one of the chair, the director who have just spoken, I'll take them into an induction program because they have to understand what's chamber. I've had them speak, but from what they have said, I've seen big dreams. But the big dreams have to start from somewhere. Vihiga, we are not in the EPZ zone. Vihiga, we are not in the Mombasa chapter. When you compare Vihiga and Mombasa, you're losing it. Because in Mombasa, the businesses that are in Mombasa, we talk of the clearing and forwarding businesses. What do? Import and exports. Guys who are now importing and exporting via the mail. The mail. They don't know the say. Yeah? The big sea, isn't it? The ocean. Now, they have the advantage, physical advantage of being in Mombasa, where the ocean is, na hizo ni kubwa kubwa zaitwaje? Mfanyili suka. Meli, hizo ni kubwa zaitwa pale. And so they are able to get into such kind of businesses where by clearing and forwarding business, in 1 week you make millions and billions. And so paying $1 million is nothing. In Vihiga, we are not physically advantaged to have the ocean. So we will not get into that kind of business, and we will not, even if we dream it, envy to have a member of Vihiga County registering with $1 million to be a member of chamber. We will only have the Mama Mboga, and we have to be proud of that Mama Mboga and empower that Mama Mboga. What I mean is this: you will not be proud of your neighbor's son because he's doing so well, unlike your son who is not doing so well. You will only work on your son to do better and work with your son. You know, say my neighbor's son drives a big Mercedes Benz. No, you'll be proud of your son. So to me, the Vihiga chapter is in the micro league. And so when we talk of Chamber of Vihiga chapter, we'll be working with the micro league. And the micro league, my secretary in the market is here. We want to know how do we improve the market setup so that our Mama Mboga coming to that market makes more profit than anything to be in an EPZ cell. My other chair, vice chair, has rightly said that our minister, cabinet minister, comes from our region. If I have her right, they have presented an economic working plan. What?
Development plan.
Development plan. Western province. With who? By who? Whose input? What is there for us? So that if we are told by tomorrow we start importing and exporting avocados, where do we get the avocados? We have to begin with the capacity building of our farmers to get to know which area will bring about the best avocados, so that now we now bring in the EPZ for avocados and then export the avocados. So to me what I'm saying is this: Chamber of Commerce has no structures for now. We need to come and build up those structures. We can only be proud of our micro businesses. We have our border people that we have to organize them into chamber and make a profitable business out of the border activities. We have to organize our Mama Mboga in the open air markets and ensure as we engage with the county government that our markets are well lit, our markets have enough space, they are clean, they are aerated, they have refrigerators for them that need refrigeration of their products and produce and all that. Those are the markets we are supposed to work on. We need to also know our shopkeepers who together, because it's an issue that's been going on, that let us only have a one license store. So that if I'm a shopkeeper, I know where I put an M-Pesa there, where I put a mandazi there, where I'm also selling the buy and sell goods. Why? Because I need to make some little profit here, some little profit from grocery, some little profit from bread, some little profit from the mandazis that I'm selling in the morning. Then grow the mandazi business, I go to the soko, I bring groceries. So that is the mama mboga we are talking about, and we are kept for that mama mboga, not to pay a license because she is selling mandazi. Sasa kuwe na help, na nini, like as if she's owning our hotel. Then because she's having a small M-Pesa that is trading on only 5,000 maybe per day, she's supposed to be paying a license like a bank because she's in financial services. Then she's now that is now killing our businesses. We have to do a physical study and know why are officers, why are people closing their shops? Why do we have a long street with only 5 shops open out of 12? Why are these shops closed? Who was in this shop? What made this shop close? Because people are suffering. Vihiga people are closing businesses. And yet as Vihiga Chamber of Commerce, we are talking of EPZ, we are talking of a big now. We have to go to that mama mboga and know why are you not doing better than your neighbor in this?
Swali langu la pili ni kuhusu hiki kituo cha ubora SIPE. Nadhani kituo hiki SIPE ilikuwa ni kunufaisha KNCCI na wanachama. Je, kimewasaidia vipi? Na nikikita hapo, ni nini utafanya kuhusu wanachama? Kwa sababu tukiangalia Vihiga kwa ujumla, wanachama bado uko chini sana, na utueleze kwa kifupi ni mpangilio ipi uko nayo?
Wanachama, members of Commerce, Chamber of Commerce, or what?
Members.
I wish you gave me time I go through my manifesto so that I elaborate on all that, because that will give you an easy understanding of what I would really want to do with the Chamber of Commerce. Because in my manifesto, my pillar number 1 is actually on membership. How to get membership for the Chamber of Commerce. Currently, we have a register of 276, which to me is not the best we could have, because having a register of 276 for 5 sub-counties of Vihiga County, yet Vihiga County is well known for micro businesses, we are not doing well. So my pillar number 1 is improve membership services and awareness. Awareness is what you guys have been talking about. You're not aware of what's going on. In my membership structure, I'll have sub-county offices dealing with the membership. I'll have ward mobilizers to mobilize our members into Chamber of Commerce. So the ward mobilizers reports to the sub-county office, the sub-county office reports to the county office. Now, the ward mobilizer will have a 25%, which is already passed, a 25% commission on every fee a member pays. Then the same fee goes to the sub-county office. From the sub-county, the sub-county will take a 10%. Then the national will take 15%, and the remaining percentage is for the county. That way we'll have a big number of members who, in the same channel, will offer our services. When we go to Ivroville, let's say in Rwanda, we will not go as Chamber County members. We will first of all get our mobilizers in that area to get all the chamber members in that area. And when we go there, we are going with having done a physical study or a survey to get to know what is their concern. What do they need? So when we are going to address their issues, we are going with the relevant authorities. What we say about chamber is an advocacy body. So when you are serving your members, we are not going to build roads for our members. We are not going to build shops for our members. What we are supposed to do is to advocate. So if they are crying about their market, we now have gone to the trade ministry, get to know what plan they have for that market, and go with the relevant officers of the county to go and answer to those questions. So that is what we shall be doing. So with the membership, it will be very easy. If you give service, members will just come in. But without service, I know our current officers has been having a very big challenge in recruitment. Why? You go to a member who had registered earlier. You want that member to renew his or her membership. But the first question is, for what reason? In the 1 year that I paid my 5,000 as a trader, what service did I receive? So most of our members didn't renew their service, their membership, and they didn't bother. That's why from you here, as my first question was, who is a voter? So I want to talk to the voter to vote me in and challenge me that you have not offered the service you promised to offer when you are asking for a vote. Unfortunately, you saw merely 10 hands that are registered and eligible voters. Why? There's apathy. No one wants to associate with chamber. No one wants to do anything with the chamber. You've seen our brothers who are seated here and the others down there. They just asked 2-3 questions and walked away. They feel like, I'm wasting my time. What am I doing here? So that apathy is what we need to correct. And once we correct it, then we will have our leaders, both our directors and the chairperson, get into an accountability test. Account for your time in that office, account for our space, account for our money. That accountability test is not there because you are not voters. So in fact, if we ask you now, what if we challenge back and say, members who are chamber members have been receiving services, but because you are not a chamber member, you have not been knowing or receiving. But unfortunately, you say, if my neighbor has some visitors, I'll see the smoke. So you've not been seeing the smoke because of that apathy. You can only handle what you can afford. Number 2, maybe before you go, you cut me short. My pillar number 2 is strengthen our leadership and empower departmental structures. Chamber is supposed to work on departments. We have a department of youth, department of women, department of disabilities, department of trade, department of capacity building. All these the departments are supposed to be strengthened. So that as the chair, I'm not supposed to be handling things trade. I'm supposed to get reports from my Minister of Trade. From my Minister of Trade, what he or she is doing with the Trade Department. How many times has she or he engaged the Trade Department at the county about issues concerning trade? I want to engage my Minister of Capacity Building. How many capacity forums have you had with the members of chamber? And how many people have you approached to sponsor programs of capacity buildings? Those are the questions I'll be asking my cabinet. But if I don't have the numbers, how do I work it out? So I'll strengthen our leadership and empower departmental structures. Pillar number 3 is advocacy, and that's the heart of chamber. Advocacy is the heart of chamber. I've said, I'll be lying to you if I tell you we are going to propel you to make roads. We are going to propel our business. No, ours is you have a business idea as an entrepreneur. You know why you went into that particular business that you went into. Why you are running a hotel business and not a bar business. Why you are running a grocery business and not whichever other vendor. So I want to make sure that I advocate for you in your business. Not to change your mind, because with an entrepreneur, you have your own instinct as to why you're running the particular business you're running. So mine as chamber is, and also as a business person, is I want someone to advocate for me in my business. I will not tell the boda people to close the boda and buy matatus. No. I want to know what are challenges boda guys are facing and advocate for them to the relevant authorities. I have challenges as a microfinance person. As I give my microfinance duties, I know there are challenges. My director Kidati has already said one of it, default. I would want to know what is wrong with the Vihiga people that they don't pay their loans, but not as bad as he has put it. That's why my office is running and making profits. It's not as bad as he has put it, because the MasterCard issue has its own challenges. But then we want to see if Step and Fail as a microfinance, we do a study of all the microfinances in Vihiga County. We have Faulu, we have Kenya Women, we have Step and Fly, we have ASA, we have this. We bring them together, the officials, and ask them, what are your challenges? Advocate for them. So advocacy is, you advocate for me from my point of shoe. You don't tell me to remove my shoe and put on another shoe. The last one is revenue mobilization. I thank God one of the directors would want to be the director of trade. In revenue mobilization, I will not envy Mombasa because they can have one member subscribing with $1 million. I will envy Vihiga can mobilize 500 members in 1 week. The 500 members in 1 week will give us 500,000. We can have a very comfortable budget with the 500,000. That envy Mombasa with 5 million. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Jackie. I think I like her insights. They're a bit deeper. They're quite, it's like an eye-opener for most of us to understand exactly what goes on within Vihiga Chambers. She has been a member for some time. And as we all know, she has been the acting chair for Vihiga Chamber of Commerce after the late Kncci left us. And she has filled in the gap. And also, I'd like to applaud her for taking up the challenge, because others would have remained status quo. It's always good to have competition, even in business. When you're the only business running, there must be a problem. But when you see your neighbor challenging you, you have an eatery, and your neighbor comes up with an eatery. Of course, they will make it better than yours. So you have the choice. You can choose between the two. So members, we have a choice.
Just one on that. I also want to advocate to our national government. Our national, that is the National Chamber of Commerce, the national body. You see, you scare away some of the contestants when you are putting a fee that someone feels that why should I pay such kind of money just to be a director or a chair? Why would a director who would want to lead Vihiga chapter with the very minimal revenues pay 50,000 to be a director, and still a director who wants to control millions in Mombasa pay the same 50,000? We will advocate for that as well, so that counties should also be categorized as per their revenue, scale, and ability. Because some counties do not have the ability that other counties have. A director in Nairobi paying 50,000 is nothing. But a director in Homa Bay and Vihiga, that's a lot of money. And so when you tell someone, why don't you stand? Why don't you vie? Junior boy, why don't you vie to be a director or a chairperson of Vihiga? How much? 50,000 to Tawana Keshu.
Thank you for that. Anyway, let's get back to the question and answer session. Back to Rehema.
Okay, I'll be brief, and kindly I request that you be brief because of time. First, there were MOUs that were signed between the KNCCI while you were in office as the vice chair. Have they been of any benefit to the business community too? There have been key revenue streams for the KNCCI Vihiga County. How do you plan to better the revenue streams? And then 3, there are 2 entities in the KNCCI Vihiga chapter, that's the youth in business and the women in business. What is the advocacy agenda for the business community that you intend to undertake for the next 3 years?
I'll begin with the last one. The youth in business and women in business, I would say, as my director Kidadi said, we are not serious when we want services but we do not want to subscribe. Our youth business director, Bwana Wycliffe Chabaya, has been very vibrant. But when he comes to the board and we are asking him how many youth have subscribed to be chamber members, he's like, they don't have money. We cannot work like that. We can only subscribe to be members of chamber and ask for service. So the youth in business has been coming together by convenience. We have a program running, so we will mobilize the youth in business, they'll come and then they disappear. We want a steadfast program that will keep the youth in business involved in chamber matters. So that is one thing that we are going to make sure that as we mobilize the youth in business, we want to make sure that they also understand what opportunities do they have in chamber. And those opportunities, are they long-term or short-term? But we cannot now tell them these are the opportunities before now they subscribe as members. Then we now get mapping of what they do and how to capacity build them. Women in business, the same thing. We have the women in business wing led by Margaret Amimo, and it has been doing fantastic job. Kudos to them. The women in business that I'm a member are the one that actually seconded my bid. And not only seconding, they have contributed to a tune of 85,000, gave it to me to go and campaign to get this chairmanship or chairpersonship. The women in business wing, they are doing their own thing without chamber fraternity, because the few times they knocked at the door of chamber, they were not given the hearing. And so they have come up with a company called Focus Investment, whereby every member of the women in business is supposed to pay 50,000 in a period of 1.5 years. Some have already started contributing. So that in 1.5 years, pay 5,000 this month, pay 2,000 into your account. Then, in the 1.5 years that is ending by end of this year, because we began last year, they want now to tender big tents with the county government. And that one, they have already put it into their constitution. They want the third rule, the AGPO, that is supposed to go to women, youth, and people living with disability. They want accountability for the same. They want to know who takes that 30%. Okay. And if there is no one taking that percent, they are ready to take it.
The MOU signed by the county government and Kncci, have they benefited
the MOUs? Yes. Now, the MOUs, you know, when you sign an MOU with the county government or with any government towards their end of tenure, my friend, there's nothing you're going to benefit. Some of the MOUs we signed were towards the end of the tenure of 2022. So we were getting into election. And so it is upon the new cabinet and the new board to make sure that they follow up to the same. We went into signing those MOUs towards the end so that we are in the good books with the county government. Even the county government is very positive, but have we followed it up? If we question ourselves, what are the particular issues of concern that are in the MOUs? Did we do what we call public participation? But if we did, who are we doing the public participation to? We have not registered as members of chamber. So that is where we are. We are lose-lose situation. We are losing as a body, we are losing as members, because we have not registered as members of the chamber. And so, if we want to call members to come and we tell them what we are engaging with the government on, you will not be in that podium. Why? You are not a member. So we want to sensitize every member in business in Vihiga chapter, registered to be a member of chamber. Okay,
thank you. There's some
your last question.
These are other questions.
Yes.
You had proposed some legislative agenda to the county government.
Yes.
What are you doing to achieve them?
One of the legislative agenda,
as you answered that question, kindly incorporate this. Have you ever worked with the civil societies within the county before? and how do you plan to incorporate them in?
One of the legislative agenda was on licensing, and to me it was very positive. It was very positive because then the kind of licenses that had been imposed to traders, it had to be revised, and the members got applaud on the same. But unfortunately, in the new legislative agenda on licensing, I would say we did not participate so much, and so they have again skyrocketed. But the new cabinet will have to take it up, because members of chamber or businesses in Vihiga is our business. We have to let the government understand. If we close shops, even the little we have been paying will not be coming in. So we'd rather have a figure that we all is a win-win situation. That if I can pay 2,000 and build business is much better than you tell me pay 5,000 and close business. So that's what we are looking at. Your other question, you're talking about working with civil societies. In my cabinet, we have the option of co-opted members or directors. To me, in my agenda, if I'm given this seat, the co-opted members will not be individual members. I'll co-opt bodies. I'll co-opt the civil society, a representative. I'll co-opt the border, a representative. I'll co-opt the market society, the market people as a representative. So I'll co-opt bodies that will come into chamber as the bigger umbrella, and then we bring up issues that when we have a voice, we have a bigger voice. Then when we let the civil society talk their thing, and then someone brands them as idlers. No, we want a fronted voice that someone will understand this is Vihiga speaking. And chamber has that opportunity because chamber is the bigger umbrella.
My last two questions before my colleague. How many development partners have you brought on board during your tenure to achieve different programs set out to achieve business within the business by the business community? How many others have you lined up to support the future programs of the business community? How many development partners, have you proposed for KNCCI Vihiga before? Which program did they run? If they refused the opportunity to partner with KNCCI Vihiga.
Shorten that question in answers zinapotea.
Okay. Have you had any business partners that were proposed to the KNCCI before? Are they working with the KNCCI? If not, what do you think was the reason for them not to work with KNCCI?
The business partners that have worked.
The final question I would also wish you to address is the issue of the pending bills. What plans have you put in place to engage the county government reducing the amount of pending bills owed to the business community?
Asante. Nianze na gani?
Uanze na ya kwanza.
Kwanza ilikuwa
ambayo ilikuwa inahusika.
Okay. Now, when it comes to development partners, we've had several development partners come through chamber. But we have a challenge in Vihiga County, and that's what we are working on as the chamber fraternity together with the county government. There is a development partner who wanted 100 acres of land to put up a plant to do the granite. Where is the 100 acres in Vihiga? Now, we have other development partners like the one you have said, SIPE. SIPE has been helping us a lot in capacity building. This afternoon before I came in, I was in a Zoom meeting with the SIPE. They're doing a lot of capacity building to the directors, and we did one even this afternoon. The other one is BAF. BAF also did a lot last year and the year 2021. They did a lot of capacity building to the directors and members, and they're the same body that helped us come up with a paper to engage the government. And we did, the governor came to the launch of that paper, and it is in the archives of the county government because it has not been worked on fully. So your question on how many investors or did you say investors or who to work with the county with us chamber?
Yes,
the partners. Yes. That question is actually not my question because I was not I have not been the chairperson chairperson. Why I say it's not my question is because the chairperson has the mandate to lead a team. And as a follower, I've just been following what has been happening. So I'll credit my chairperson for the bar, the side, and I'll also credit him for the many investors that came through chamber, but because of some logistics in the county government, they could not proceed. We have our own member called Cisco. He has actually brought in investors, and we walked them around. They wanted to put up standard stadiums, and we took them around. They wanted 2 projects. One, they wanted to work with stadiums, and then they wanted to work with the water projects. We took them around. We took them to Kncci water project, Lunyerere here. There's another one, Gambot here. We took them around, but they said it's not. They did not have the capacity water that they need for the big project.
Sorry, I wanted to
stadiums. Then the stadiums, we took them to Kidondo, we took them to Amisi Stadium, and they said that space is not even enough for parking.
Okay, I wanted to know whether there were any other development partners that you had proposed to the NCCI. Then, or are there any other partners that are your plans to work in, if given an opportunity?
I have none that I've proposed as a person.
Okay.
I have none. But in my proposal, you see, when you make your house clean, visitors come. If our house is clean as Chamber of Commerce Vihiga chapter, we will be open to so many investors. We have our neighbor Kakamega and Kisumu, who they have an overflow of investors and partners that can overflow to Vihiga if only our house is in order. So to us, it's just to make the ground an enabling environment for an investor. And that's what we don't have. If we have that enabling environment, the investors are there. And there are so many. And then we have the big wins. My able vice chair has just told you that our prime minister is very much willing to work with the Vihiga chapter because he's the son of the soil. But have we given him the enabling environment to come and engage us in investment programs and forums? We are talking of default of only 33,000 shillings. Then how do we bring a big investor who will invest 3 billion? So what we need first of all is to work with our attitude, is to work with our groundwork, and then ensure that we have that goodwill for our investors.
Thank you, Madam Jacqueline. The issue of the pending bills you are engaging with.
Pending bills, we have engaged the county government on several occasions, and the response has been, and the last response has been, the Auditor General. The Auditor General has an issue with some of the pending bills. And our big question was, other than the Auditor General, what answer would we have to a contractor who constructed the very offices our county government is sitting on? What audit query are we waiting for us to pay such a contractor? You know, it beats logic because much as we are waiting for the Auditor General, but we still have physical, visible projects that a contractor in Vihiga contracted and he has not been paid and has been auctioned. That is one thing that is spoiling actually the business community in Vihiga. Because if I've made this road and the road is visible, passable, you're even passing on the road, why are we waiting for the Auditor General from Nairobi to come and give us a nod to pay this road? So we are engaging the county government to expedite on the same. If it's the issue of the auditor, let the auditor now come in as early as yesterday to do the audit and these traders and the contractors be paid. Why are we bitter about the same? The same contractors are the ones who are supposed to bring fluid money to our businesses. If we don't have that fluid money, then we'll all be crying the business is not doing right. So if this contractor is paid his 3-5 million, that money will trickle down to the Mama Mboga. But because this contractor has not been paid, he has even been auctioned, he's feeling like he wants to get out of Vihiga. So we are killing our own contractors, we are killing our own businesses. So we have engaged the county government. The governor is very positive on the fact that if it's a matter of auditors, let them do their work as fast as possible. The clean businesses be paid, the clean contracts be paid, and the shoddy contracts, let us also have a list of shame of people who took contracts, they are claiming to have invoices to be paid, and yet they did not deliver. That's what we need. We need to list a list of pay and a list of shame.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nyangweso. I really must commend you. I think you have dug deeper into some of the issues we've been asking ourselves exactly what should be happening in Kncci. And you have taken time to expound most of the questions that you've been asked. Now, there's just one last note before they pick up. There's been a disconnect of communication in Kncci vis-a-vis the business community and even the members of Kncci themselves. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the communication that has been taking place in Kncci?
You cannot give yourself a score. I'm in the cabinet, so it's the members to give us a score. On a score to 1 to 10, ask them, what is our score?
Yeah, as much as you cannot give yourself a score, you've got to note that at times when you're sitting for an exam, there is a way you say, this exam I might get 80% or I might get 90, or I might not even get anything. So how do you think you have performed?
I would say we've gotten a 40% and it's a pity, and that's why I need this seat so that I'll be getting 95%.
Wow, I like that. As you saw, in this house, ladies and gentlemen, I must commend you that you're seated keenly listening to this dialogue, the cognitive dialogue. I said we are the voice of the people, and we have to connect you to Kncci because this is our agenda today and the days to come. In the house, we have events organizing agency headed by my young brother there. His pictures are good. There's something you can, when you look at them, you just smile. He does the job exceptionally, and he's one of the best in Vihiga County. So in case you have something that you want to do, and you need your pictures taken, you need a video done, and you need even marketing, and direct, what are they called, live links on YouTube and the various other mediums, he is the person to get in touch with. And again, it's raining outside. Unfortunately, we didn't have sponsors enough to give us a cup of tea. We didn't even have sponsors to even do this event here. Some of us had to dig deep down into our pockets to make this event real. Because if we actually had enough time, we would have reached to each one of you so that you're able to give us a shilling or two so that we can buy tea and have it together. But in the house we have Patroba or Yolo. There's something we call Kncci soya. When you look at the back there, that table is still full. And I believe it shouldn't be that full. If you haven't tested this, you don't know a snack. If you haven't tested this, you don't know what to have for breakfast. Especially for those who hate bread like myself. Those who hate wheat. Those who are watching their weight. Those who want to have some power breakfast. Look at Kncci soya. Get in touch with Patroba Oyolo. He does his thing in the best way possible. Now back to Ibra. He had one last question that he was going to ask Ms. Jackie.
Swali la mwisho, madam, ni kwamba unawania hiki kiti cha wanachama, unataka ukuwe mwenyekiti wa KNCCI. Ni nini ambacho utafanya kiutofauti sana na hawa wenyekiti ambao wamekuwepo kwa miaka mitatu ambayo inakuja?
Asante kwa hilo jibu, lakini kama ungekuwa umesikiza my agenda items, you know, when you go into leadership, you don't go to compete. You go with your vision and your strategy. So to me, I wouldn't say I want to compare myself with the outgoing leadership. No, I'm saying I'm offering myself to offer this, but I wouldn't want to say in comparison to the previous, this is what they need to do, and that's what I'm. No, I think I want to be. I want to forecast to my agenda items, and that's what I want to do. So I would say, if I say my pillar number 1 is on mobilization and sensitization, I've just said we have done a 40%, and I want to do a 90%. When I say advocacy, I would say we have done a 60%. I want a 90%. When I talk of resource mobilization, I wouldn't say we've been so dry. We've been having a 20%. I want a 90%. You get? So that's what I would say, yes.
Thank you so much, Madam Jackie. Even as you continue to swallow your saliva and get, what is it called? Ile kuwa hydrated kwa throat. I want to take this program back to these wonderful members who have sat here so patiently, who have a passion for Vihiga and have a passion even for KNCCI, even in its absentia, because the CEO is not here and the rest of the management, but they have a passion for KNCCI. So KNCCI Vihiga, you have to know that you're loved by these people, and they want to be members, but they want to be worthy members. They want to be members who know that they can get back what they are giving back into KNCCI. So I want to turn this question and answer. We are going to take only just 2 concrete questions. Unless otherwise, 2 concrete questions from the crowd. And you can direct it to Miss Jackie or to Chambers, whichever way you like. So I've seen a hand. Can I see another one? Just hold on, brother. I want to see another hand. A different one. I've seen 3 hands. So what do we do? One lady. The ladies are shy. The men are many. Wow, mnatudominia hata kwa Chambers mko wengi bana wewe. Mnataka tufanye namna gani? I'm going to give to this wonderful lady. Let me tell you, she has come all the way from Wemiladi in Rwanda to just attend this cognitive dialogue. So you can imagine what is happening.
Hello, hello. Hello. I greet you in the name of the Lord. Praise the Lord. Amen. Now my question is here. Now that I'm a new member here, I would like Madam to also to give me directions how I can join. Secondly, because I'm interested, I like learning, I like promoting myself and others. So the second thing is, if you are chosen or elected as a chairperson or a leader in this KNCCI, how will you assure us as new members that we shall not have the problems of being uncountable for the members? Accountability, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Being faithful. And then what I just comment is that once you are chosen as a leader, work. Do your work. Mpaka yenyewe ikuinue. Thank you.
Asante. Kwa swali lako la how to be a member, we have our administrator come secretary. She's in the house. I think you should have had a desk at the back so that you also get members to know more about Chamber of Commerce. What we don't have in the office are flyers, and that will be my first agenda. In the first 1 week in the office, I'll make sure that that office is full of information on what Chamber is all about, so that before you even register, you get to, you're taken through to understand what is Chamber of Commerce and what Vihiga Chamber of Commerce stands for, and if you join, what will you be enjoying. So that is one. She's there. You can get to her, and she will attend to you. Your question was how will you account for your fee now that you have subscribed as a member? I've said Chamber of Commerce must outline what kind of services are we going to offer to our members. And those are the services that if as a member you do not get them. In our annual meeting, of which you must attend, we are supposed now to question the directors as to why in the year that has just ended, we have not enjoyed these particular
service and give us reasons as to why we should actually renew our membership. In the structure that I've just given, we may not come together as the Vihiga Chamber of Commerce chapter in one hall. And so we will have to, how do I put, dissect our service delivery into sub-county and ward level, so that we are not like waiting for a one big event where all members can come. We'll have them in categories, in sectors. It can be divided into, let's say, business sectors. We can do it under the ward sector, under the geographical sector, and whichever. As I'll be sitting with my board, we'll be coming up with the structures and channels on how to get to all.
Thank you for your in-depth answer. We appreciate that. There was another hand somewhere. Before we get to this gentleman, any other ladies, your content? Because I want to be finished with you before I get to the gentleman. Ladies in the house. Ladies, anyone with a question? Nyote mko sawa na mnaona wanatupigia wako nne kwa hiyo board. The rest are men. You're not crying out, you're okay. You're okay if our husband have 10 wives. Sio mko sawa kabisa. You're okay if they have 10 wives. Huh? Yes. That is what you're trying to say.
And if you don't vote me in, there'll be 3. So that's why you have to vote me.
Exactly. So there'll only be 3 women. So now, ladies, I'm giving you a last chance. You know, I'm begging you to ask a question actually. So I don't know what is going to happen. If you don't have a question anyway, let me get to this gentleman. Be as brief as possible, and the answers may not come in as brief as possible.
I'm Nicholas Odiabo, but I'm asking you, when God willingly you are elected as the chairman, as the chair lady of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce in Vihiga County, what will you do when you see your people are suffering? The county government is making your people to suffer, putting them on a corner. What will you do to them? Will you just be vulnerable? Will you just lean on county government and you see your people are suffering?
Okay.
The second question. I've seen a chairlady is contesting for the seat and the vice chairperson is also chairlady. Have you followed the gender role?
The chair will be a lady and the vice will be a lady, and that's how you will see the power of a woman. Because in other counties, for sure, we have only men. In our Kakamega neighborhood here, they have a man as chair, vice as man. So why would it not be different in Vihiga? In fact, we want it that way, so that the chair is a lady and the vice is a lady, and then they now see, when we go to the national office, Vihiga will be really number 1. And then the answer will give is because it's the ladies who are leading. Yeah. Number 2, Mr. Diabo, are you a registered member?
I'm a registered.
So you have a vote?
Yes.
Okay, will you vote for me? Okay, maybe let me answer your question. You know, the county government will not deliberately make its people suffer. Let us also understand that as we engage the county government, we are not engaging enemies. We are going to engage leaders. And these leaders have an oath of leadership to their people. So that word of, it is not like Shakahola. No, it's not like Shakahola, whereby if members are supposed to thin and die. No, the county government, we are supposed to appreciate them as our sons and daughters who have an oath of service to their members. That is what we call an error in policy. And that's why when we talk of advocacy, when you are on that table and you give an alternative way of view, that's not when you engage. But when you say they are making the people suffer, it will be a very wrong turn. Because they are not deliberately making people to suffer. They could err in policy And when they engage them, they can revert that policy to a policy that is conducive to its citizens. So I believe, Mr. Diambo, there is no one who is going to have a Shakahola government to make their people thin and die.
Thank you so much.
They are also human and they are also ready to serve us. It's only us to let them know. Hiyo yenye mlituletea for sure si mzuri. I wish mungefanya hivi. And that dialogue is what we need.
Thank you so much, Madam Jackie. The last question before we close in.
Again, I'm Stevie. Thank you very much for elaborating on your agenda. And I want really to appreciate and say that you deserve maximum support. I want to ask you this question. I've heard you say that you're going to segment the mobilization towards the sub-county levels. Could it be that you have an idea of ensuring that there are other form of cooperation, like either cooperatives being formed at wards level, and maybe having groupings there so that they can have their own agendas, doing their own project? Or if it's not, do you think it's a good idea that you can also incorporate in your vision? Thank you.
Thank you. When we talk of networking, you know, with the Chamber of Commerce, one of our business is also to give enabling environment for our members to network. And a cooperative is all about a network. A network whereby people pull together their services, their resources, and whatever to work for themselves. So when we talk of segmenting our services to the smaller units, that is a unit that can easily form a cooperative in whatever manner they would want to. When I said a matter of segmenting into business sector, if we have dairy farmers together as a segment, isn't that a cooperative? It's already a dairy farm cooperative. Now they can now come and say, we want you to advocate for us through the county government to have coolers for our business and our dairy places, wherever they take their dairy milk, to be improved. And that is what we are talking about. So that kind of movement brings about cooperatives, and cooperatives are the ones that make communities, especially at the low pyramids like ourselves, work together and get value out of the same. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Jackie. Thank you so much for that.
I gave an example of Boda Boda. You know, Boda Boda is just a big cooperative in waiting. A big cooperative in waiting. What if Chamber of Commerce give them that boost they need in giving them a platform and giving them an investor who comes not give them money, but just them capacity build them in motorist services and what have you. That's that, yeah. So those sectors can work, geographical sectors can as well work. So we'll do geographical sectors, especially in resource mobilization, and then we'll do business sector segmentation in service delivery. Because if I put someone who's making clothes with a hotel person in one hall and giving them capacity building, what kind of capacity building am I giving to this business? No, I should have the hotel sectors together, the clothing people together, the hardware people together, the butcher people together. They have challenges that are common to them. But if you put them all together, then you'll just be having a fun day and you call it a seminar.
Asante sana. Mbogno. Thank you so much, Madam Jackie. I beg to close your this session for you, so that we can get into 1, 2, 3 things and close up, and then we can melt into the rain. We are the salt of the world, aren't we? Mvua ikikunyeshea inakuyeyusha kama chumvi, manake Biblia inatuambia sisi ni chumvi ya dunia. There's a lady here, a very interesting lady. She's called Janet Busha. Janet Busha is a designer, and I'm jealous. Just a moment. And I'm jealous. Because if she's a designer, whatever, you know, creative minds, when they're brought together, they do greater things. She says she's a designer and she sells daras. Na wanawake kuna jinsi huwa mnasema dera si dera bila nini, sijui. Dera si dera bila nini. So kama unalo jaribu kwenda kapela, lakini jaribu tu manake she will design to your body inside, isn't it? She says she has them right now. Kama unasikia baridi uende dara saizi yako nayo pale nje. Namba yake ya simu ni 07110 32 0174. And she's a new member. She's a registered member. You are registered. Janet Wusha is a registered member. Jackie, does that ring a bell into your head?
Utanipigia kura ama ndio umeregister?
Nimeregister bado.
But welcome to the board.
Thank you. So kindly, when you want to do the data business for the men, you want to surprise your ladies, you know, it's getting colder every day, so it's good to be free when you're asleep in the data sometimes, or even move around in the house. So you can purchase the data. And I know Linda can fit in one very well. She'll be the first customer. Not to mention the Emma here. And even Madam Jackie herself. There is just something you wanted to say, Madam Jackie, before I close.
Mine, I hope my afternoon, my evening will give me like 5 votes. I don't know. I just hope.
Why are you talking about 5? Why don't you ask these people to find the other people? So that they are more than even 6. They find the other votes.
Oh, I sent them to be my agents. Who is ready to be my agent? Yeah, kuja tuongee. Okay, but oh, thank you. I really need this seat because at the end of the day, I really want to see what can I do for Vihiga. Maybe lastly, before I call it a day, I also would wish leaders and every person in Vihiga, let us, when we have such an activity, election is all about democracy. Like what I'm selling my manifesto to you, so that if I get that opportunity to work, I work. If I don't, I'll do other things. But let us not malign names and characters, the characters of our leaders. It's not good for us. It's not good for anyone. I had the gutter press that says that one Jacqueline is living in Nairobi, and Jacqueline lives here, Upper Mukuli, and she works in Vihiga. She has offices in Vihiga. She's a household name in Vihiga. Step and Fly. How do I make Step and Fly a household name in Vihiga when I'm living in Nairobi? You know, it was just a press release to discredit me that I don't live in Vihiga. That's wrong. Just go to points, challenge me with what I want to offer, and tell me you can't. But don't put it simple arguments like she doesn't live in Vihiga. Directors are shy working with her. That's neither here.
But I'm just thinking so they're shy because they're not here today.
They're worried.
No. This is a volunteer mandate. A director of chamber is not a paid job, by the way. I paid 50,000 to vie as chairperson. I'm not guaranteed by anyone that I'll be paid back. My friend here paid 25,000 to be vice chair. Will you be paid? 30,000. Will you be paid? By who? We're just offering leadership. So it's not right for someone to say directors also shy from working with the judge. No, it is just propaganda, which is wrong because volunteered directors will work with the chair who will be elected. They'll work with Billy Nyonje if he is elected, or work with Jacqueline Lea Nyangweso if elected. They have no choice. So you wouldn't say they are shying from.
Another thing that you've just reminded me before we close off. Sorry, members. It has come to my attention. I've been following these campaigns and the elections, and I saw that data press. I came across it, and it says that one of the directors submitted the list of directors that need to work under him. And you, Jacqueline Nyangweso, did not submit the list of directors to work under you. How does this work?
Well, you got the information, but to me, this was in the public domain. The Chamber of Commerce is open for election. If you want to vie as a chairperson, these are the criteria. This is what you are supposed to do. If you want to vie as vice, this is what you are supposed to do. If you want to vie as a director, this is what you are supposed to do. So we offered our desire to the IEB according to our capacity. I offered myself as chairperson, and it is not in that circular that I should have a lineup of directors. What I would have done if I did that, I would have been having now third politics in Vihiga, because it will be my team versus someone's team, which would have been a bad thing. Two, I've told you this is a volunteer kind of engagement. You are volunteering to serve on that board. You're not going to be paid. And so I was not supposed to go and look for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to tell him or her volunteer. No, a volunteer is like a good Samaritan. You don't tell your son to be a good Samaritan because you're a good Samaritan.
It's okay, Miss Jackie, I hear you out. Another one, because you're the one who brought these worms out of the can. Another one, the last one. There is, to my knowledge, that you, the candidates of chairpersons, the best chair is clean and good. And you know women are the best leaders. But now, back to you. The candidates at the top for the chairperson, you have been sourcing out from amongst the business community, the non-business community. I have information on my desk that you have been sourcing out and going to individuals and telling them now, pay 20,000, bring your papers, when these individuals are not even business persons, so that they can be directors. Have you done something like that, Madam Jackie? Probably.
But you've just said I don't have directors. Why are you eating your
that's because. No, listen, I want you to clarify this. Because I'm told one of the directors, I don't know what to.
Okay, let me clarify this. When you are requested to be a director, you are given the terms and conditions.
You said that.
So the terms of being a director was you pay 20,000.
And not as a directors. And not source for another director, for you who are the chairperson candidates. Were you to outsource for directors under you?
No, that's what I've answered. It was not in that circular. It's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be Vihiga wajitokeze wenye wanataka kuwa kwa board ya Chamber of Commerce. Sasa ukijitokeza, mwenzangu akidada amesema yeye amejitokeza kama director na angetaka awe kwa idara ya trade. It is a volunteer business. It's a volunteer person. So he paid 20,000 just to show his seriousness that he would want to work on this board, and not only just work on that board, to be in the Department of Trade. Why? He has seen a gap in that Department of Trade.
Thank you so much.
And he want to fill that gap. And if I be his chairperson, I'll task him to work even hard, because he should not waste the Trade Department just because he's a director.
Thank you so much for that. I was just trying to clarify, because that is what came to our desk, that the chairpersons were actually approaching individuals and asking them to pay 20,000 and to do the registration, and so that they can work together with the one or either of the chairpersons at a certain level within Vihiga County actually.
That information is right, ya kwamba if you are supposed to be a director, the terms and conditions follow. Nomination fee, 2,000. To be a director, 20,000.
So that's okay, Jackie. The question here was like this: why couldn't they put the information in the public domain for the people who are interested in the director to look at it and say, I want to be a director and I want to pay?
But I told you we scored 40% in communication.
You get it, it's okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you for the dialogue. It's been a pleasure having you here. You have scored, actually, I don't know what is your score. Is it 20 over 100 or 50 over 100 or 60 over 100? Now, members, how many?
85.
85.
I don't know why you're leaving the 15%, because I was just giving out myself, offered myself, paid 50,000, come to a dialogue, and then you give me 85. Tell me why you take the 15%. Thank you.
It's okay, so you're welcome, and we wish you all the best. We wish you all the best, Madam Jackie, in your endeavors. And may God go before you, because He's the only one who can give you this seat. Clap for her. That clap is weak. That means I want to wind up this session. I want to give a vote of thanks. And so you know, you had an agenda. You want to put remember I told you have to put a cap on the bottle. Before I do the vote of thanks, you have to put a cap on the bottle. Because the issues that have come out of this debate, we must actually recognize that. The issues came out, you have seen. The attendance, just a moment, the attendance is not the way we expected. We had invited over 200 people, actually, and we only have, should I say, a quarter or a half of them that showed up. And thank you that you showed up. So we have had our own hiccups as the cognitive dialogue arranging for this, because as I told you earlier on, we are a non-profit making organization. I am Kncci Creation as a business person, but the cognitive dialogue is not a business entity. It does not do business. It is just a voice of the people so that we can dialogue together. Because if I were to profit out of you, you would have paid for this dialogue. So we always encourage that we volunteer for such kind of things when it comes to the community. And because it's a volunteer group, we have had to pay for this all. These people you are seeing here, they need to be paid for, or they partly, or something like that, but they need to be paid for because they're offering services. Unless they say so by themselves, but they haven't stated that. Even going forward, we shall know how to engage. Because this is the second debate we are doing, or dialogue we are doing in Vihiga County. We already did one, and we are headed to a third one for Rwanda sub-county. We did the first one with the MCAs. It was quite big, quite larger than this. The attendance was great. There was no intimidation. There were no sabotages. Despite the fact that it was the political world, you can imagine how vicious the political people can become. But now when it comes to Kncci, it has become more vicious. Even there have been sabotages all the way. And we have friends and partners who have actually stepped in. And I must commend them because they have stood with us all the way. They're the ones who have paid for this hall. So before I get there to the vote of thanks for all these people, I want Evans Mswahili to put a cap on the lid because we cannot ignore the voice of Victor. We cannot ignore the voice of Sam Mugeta. We cannot ignore the voice of Chahasi. We cannot ignore even the voice of Vumba, who has been told that is a non-registered member of Kncci, yet he sat on the board. We cannot ignore the voice of various women in this forum. And we cannot ignore the voice of Jackie, even as she has spoken and stated clearly what she wants to do for Kncci. I'm impressed as a woman that she can be able to have such a brain that can calibrate such kind of magnitude for this county, the business world, because she's one of the leading agents, business agents within Vihiga County and Western region as a whole. Stepfly, I have watched it grow myself. I have seen it grow from one step to another, and they are hitting the sky. So if you want services from Stepfly, kindly get in touch with them. They are domiciled at Mbale, their headquarters are at Mbale. There's that old building where we have Equity, or is it, I don't know, Equity and Cooperative Bank. You can go there and inquire more from them for their services. Now, Sam, can you pick up the microphone? Not Sam, Swahili.
Yes, I'm Yamba Tena. I'll be very brief and very candid on this. The issues that were raised by our brother Victor Manga were very valid. But again, we are looking at a situation where we wouldn't want to be unduly adversarial. Yani hatungependa tuwe katika ile hali ambapo tunapigana wakati tunaweza ongeleshana. Tunaelewana? And looking at Jackie and looking at my sister Linda here and even Akidadi and the others who have shown interest in serving on this particular board, I want to believe that we who are here today and those that are not here but of course share in the same sentiments we are having really ought to give this group an opportunity to serve at the earliest opportunity possible.
Yes.
That therefore means that on a personal level, I would be a bit hesitant and a bit reluctant to say, because of these particular anomalies, let us move to court to stop this process. Of course, we have the right to do so. There are adequate grounds to do so. But then I'm also saying that Vihiga is bleeding from very many problems related to mismanagement of matters, public affairs. But today, in this house, we have people who are willing to do something about it. They're ready to go and they really want to move ahead and do it. So what Victor Manga said is valid. The interjection that Mugeta had was also valid, but I also want to believe that much as it is the role of the AGM to ventilate on the issue that Victor raised, still, even a single person among us can still stop this process. And they have the ability to do so, and they have the standing in law to do so. What I wanted to ask all of you here and now is, this debate was made public to the extent that even non-chamber members are interested, and some of them are here and some are following from outside this place. And therefore, if there were people who ought to have been here and have chosen not to come, it says a lot about their character and conduct. It tells you that even if you are to make them tomorrow to become chairpersons of a cattle dip somewhere or chairpersons of a small water spring somewhere, they will not give you the service that they ought to give you because they hold you in very little regard. Right? Therefore, if it were possible, chamber fraternity, if it were possible, coming to the date of 8th, I would pray that you move ahead and endorse Jackie and the person because only the people who are willing to serve. If you run away from accountability, if you are not just willing to come and face this small group of people and tell them what you've been doing and tell them what you intend to do differently and what you intend to do better tomorrow, then you are not the right person for us. You are not the right person for any group of persons anywhere in the world of today. So we'll be watching closely, and if we see that there's a miscarriage of justice in the process, then we'll do what we've always done. We'll look for legal redress, and kindly bear with us if we have to go to that extent. But nimesema kwamba tungependa tuwe less adversarial. That kama tunaweza ongeleshana na tufanye vitu kwa njia kiungwana pasipo kupelekana mahakama ama kwingineko, ama pasipo kupigana, tufanye hivyo. Na for that to be a good example and a good way of doing that will be what I've just said. And those the thing that has come, because the team is serious about this business. Exactly. Yeah, but if we see that someone somewhere has plans and mechanisms of stealing victory from this particular team, then we have to stop them. And indeed we will. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kncci. You're a man of wisdom and a man of knowledge, actually. And he's my fellow activist in environmental matters. Maybe, I don't know whether he knows that. Because we are all about the environment. And you know, it will be unfair for, I don't know whether to say Kncci Creations or Anya Mita. Let me say Anya because Kncci Creation is KCCI. But Anya Mita is the environmentalist. I'm proud to say that my alumnus, fellow, it's, in English it's alumnus, or is it alma mater? Wangari Maathai, the late, were in the same school. And so we were taught matters environment. And we could not as much as hurt even grass or a leaf. And that's why we have to continue even in Vihiga as we are going out today, even as members of the business community. You have to take care of matters environment round about you. And you have to look at the species that are friendly to this environment because we are hurting Vihiga with eucalyptus, especially the wetland areas and on the boundaries of our neighbors. They're not able to plant sukuma wiki. So kindly, wherever you are, take note of that. And it's a rainy season. When you're planting your mahindi, ya kuchoma, because you know you don't have it in the next few months, you need vegetables. You need trees. You need fruit trees. Plant them in your small space. Make sure your hedge, your light fence is full of fruits. Even when passerbys pass, they come by ama wanapita, wanachuna mapera, wanachuna passion fruit, wanachuna matunda na matunda. I'm saying this because I'm a testimony myself. My age is full of passion fruit and those zimbone. I have them in my small space. Why? Because I don't want to struggle for fruits and I don't want people to be looking for fruits outside there. So do that. Now, a lot of thanks. Before I finish off with my two colleagues here, I want to thank. There are persons who individually took it up to their task because we had hoped that certain organizations would fund this cognitive dialogue. And unfortunately, I don't want to speak, I don't want to malign anyone, I don't want to defame anyone because people stepped on that cord that had been connected somewhere else. They stepped on it and they cut it off. But as it is, some of us don't die. We are like the rhizomes of the grass. When it's planted, it just goes on. You can't hear, but it's there. So we had to have the cognitive dialogue. Some people have been called and told that thing has been called off. They don't even have, they're not sure even about the venue. But I want to thank the management of Broadpark because they believed in us. They reserved for us this hall, even without payment. And until we came in this morning and made a little payment, and who are able to do the decorations. So thank you, Broadpark management. I want to thank individuals. One person who may be watching online from the UK, who has played a vital part because he's the voice of the people himself. He is for the community. And he, by the way, they have a building here, which in case you're looking for businesses, or business space, and where you want to do business, even Jackie will challenge her, can you take up that space in that Kwadaka place? It's a very beautiful place. You can make nice offices there for Step and Fly, and you can display your whatever outside there beautifully. Kwadaka Place have had a hand in this. They have promoted us. They have partly paid for this hall. Together with they have a system, something to do with the digital. They have a digital something they're doing at the building there. And the owner actually went deep into his pocket and he paid for us. Thank you so much, Kwadaka Place, and your people, and the entire business of Kwadaka. We have Bamboo. We have Victor Bamboo Mwanga. He does seedlings. He's a specialist in bamboo. He has chain value of bamboo, from stuff like tables and chairs and everything. He does them. It's okay. We have, as I was saying, there is Bamboo. Victor Mwanga, you all know him, is the chairman of Bamboo in Kenya. That guy has traveled high and low everywhere in search of the best species of bamboo. And he has a hand in this. He partly paid also for this hall. We actually came to him the last minute when we couldn't do nothing. And the man just went into his pocket and he did it. And we have some anonymous friends amongst us here. I will not name them because these men and these women, they choose to be anonymous because they help the community, who also dug into their pocket and did 1, 2, 3 things where publicity was concerned. And they paid up for us for that. So I want to give a vote of thanks to each one of you, all the businesses that you have and you run, because you have sacrificed the customer, you have sacrificed the send, and you're here plus your time. Thank you so much. Going forward, we shall be having dialogues as per the demand and as per the need. But we remain to be the voice of the people. May God bless you so much. I also want to commend, I would be unfair if I don't commend this lady here, Linda Otwanga Libese. She had to fly in from Mombasa at a short notice. And you say we don't have leaders, as much as she's been doing business here and there. That's why she was unable to tell you exactly. She's like me probably, like a jack of all trades. So Linda, I gave her a notice on, it's like a day ago. You can imagine, because I've been trying to get her on the phone and I couldn't get her. And can you imagine, and she was in Mombasa. The lady made a point of showing and coming here. So Linda, thank you so much. Hats off for you. You are the lady of the hour. May God bless you so much in your endeavors. Together with your persons, I'm sure they were with you. So, there's somebody who was asking for interviews here. I don't understand under what capacity ulikuwa unatakaje, pengine ungetaka kuongea hapa kidogo ama ulikuwa unataka namna gani? Ama chambua watu wawili watatu. It is okay. It is okay. So on that note, I want to introduce my wonderful team. And of course, one of them doesn't know, but she's welcome about this cognitive dialogue. Let her introduce herself. She's a member of the cognitive dialogue now. Don't you worry. He'll introduce himself.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anne. I never expected to be part of the team, but fortunately, I managed to just call the last week. The other day, and requested that kindly come and stand in as moderator. I want to thank you, the team, the cognitive team, for these kind of engagements. These are actually the engagements that we need to spearhead in any leadership, be it political, business-wise. For us to grow far, we need to engage as stakeholders in each and every stage. This is a takeoff, as earlier said by Anne, that is a takeoff for the economic journey of Vihiga County. My name is Rehema Usanya Ganyanya. I'm a journalist in Vihiga and working for Vihiga FM. I feel humbled to be part and parcel of this team, and I really wish that for those who are going to participate in the election, that you will put considerations of you as business community beneficiaries. The key beneficiaries of the elections is basically the community, the business community of Vihiga County. So as you go in to vote, consider that you need to empower yourself, you need to make a change for your business community. You need to at least see that what has been going on is that there is a difference, and that can make some changes in our community, and specifically to our young generation that we are heading. It might be a bit difficult, but if we go as a joint team, we will work better and better. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rehema.
Hamjambo tena. Mimi naitwa Ibrahim George. Mimi ni mwalimu, vile nilisema. Pia mimi ni mwandishi, I'm a poet. Na alafu pia Malenga the poet. Alafu pia mimi nashughulika na kurekebisha tabia, hasa the alcoholic, because I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've done this is my 10th year, mwaka wa 10. Kwa hivyo through the cognitive dialogue tunafikia watu wengi, tunafanya mambo mengi ya kuchange jamii. Kwa hivyo I'm proud to be part of this team. Mimi na Anne, sisi ndio tunasukuma hii team, na naona tumefikia mbali sana kupitia katika haya mazungumzo. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim. Thank you for that. As I finish off the cognitive dialogue, was a team of about 6 people. About 3 people now have dropped out. We've remained with 3. Why? Because it's voluntary. They don't get that kakitu. Because like now, I have pending bills here. And you see, if I don't pay them, I have to either look for other resources or get into my pocket. So when this team that dropped off saw that they saw hapana hii mambo ya kutafuta kwa mfuko zetu badala ya tupatiwe, they dropped off. So that's what we are all about. One of us actually traveled in, but traveled the wrong date because he booked the wrong, what is it called, leave day. He was to be here, he booked for Tuesday for here, so it couldn't make. So he traveled back to Nairobi because he needed to be at work today, though he had come in. But he's one of us, and we thank God for him. So I don't know if anybody has anything to say because I need to close this session. You're all good to go. Yeah, if you're good to go, I would encourage us to make the right decision, make an informed decision on choosing our leaders, and especially for KCCI. We cannot take it as a joke anymore, because I know from here you're going to be bedeviled with lots of things, and you will be pulled down. Even Jackie will be torn down on, and every kind of things, even Linda and others. But I want to encourage us that we have to push up, we have to get the right leadership, and we have the right to vote. For those of us who are members, vote, and vote wisely. Make an informed decision. I cannot tell you who to vote for, but you know exactly who you should vote for. And we have to drive the agenda of KCCI, whether with or without. It does not matter. Businesses are ours. We are the business community. And if they will not hear us from the cognitive dialogue, we shall voice it further and further and further. Till the last year, any sikio la mwisho la mwanabiashara mpaka nisikie kilio chetu, so that we get the right people and have our economy pushing on. As I started earlier on in summer, the economy is taking a nose drive. It's plunging, not only in Kenya, it is worldwide. The UK is no longer have food. the whatever, the GB has gone down, the dollar has gone down. So we need to understand that when we are driving the agenda of Kncci, we are driving our agenda and we are driving our businesses, and we have to make informed and wise decisions. May God bless you. Can we stand up for prayer? If there is a Muslim in the house, I don't know. But I'm Islam. I'm now. Because I'm going to take. You're a Muslim?
No, I'm a Christian.
You want to pray? Yeah. Okay, well, it's a bit challenging because I was going to pray.
Amen.
And for those who know me, I'm saying it's a bit challenging because I was going to pray. For those who know me, they know what I mean when I say I was going to pray. And I was going to pray for these elections. So maybe you will say the last word. Let us close our eyes. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we thank you, we bless you. We give you back all the glory and honor because of this dialogue, my Father. We give you back all the glory and honor because of Vihiga County and the business community, my Lord. Father, you have given us power and authority to trample over snakes and scorpions and powers of darkness, and nothing by any means shall harm us, Almighty Father. We take up, Almighty Father, the power that you have given us right now in the air, in the land, in the seas, in the waters, concerning the realms and the business community of Vihiga right now, my Father. We are asking you, Lord, let the power of your blood take over the realms, Almighty Father. Even the leadership of this place, the leadership of the business community, my Lord, we put them before the throne of grace tonight, Lord, that you may remember mercy upon each one of them. We pray for Jacqueline Yangweso. We pray for Dr. Billy Nyonje. We pray for the vice chair leader Libese. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray for the rest of the directors, Lord, that you will give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that they need to lead this business community. Father God, come down by the power of your blood and stir up, Almighty Father, the business community. Stir up the hearts of this county in the name of Jesus Christ. That, Lord, you will touch the hearts of the men and women, Lord. That, Master, you will arise up, Almighty Father, in a new way, O King of Glory, in leadership in this place. Break every chains of the enemy. Break all the cords of the enemy in the air, in the waters, and everywhere, oh Lord. All the altars that have been exalted against them, my Father. Because, Father, you are the great man, Almighty Father, who is able to do abundantly above all we can ever think, ask, or imagine, because silver and gold belongs unto you. And every silver that comes through our hands, through trade, through business, my Father, comes from you, Almighty Father. Sanctify the shilling, sanctify the silver, sanctify our businesses, my Father, even as you sanctify the realms of Vihiga concerning the leadership of this place, my Father. Bring down all the satanic altars in the name of Jesus Christ. Arise up, Holy Spirit of God, and sit on the throne concerning Vihiga County. Sit on the throne concerning Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Sit on the throne, my Father. Be the one that is the chair of Chamber of Commerce, my Father. Take the rightful place, my Lord, and sit on that throne, King of Glory. Endorse the leader that you saw fit in your eyes, King of Glory, from on high, my Father. I pray for every leader in this place. I pray for every business person in this place, Lord. Those whose businesses have been going down, Lord. Father, I rise up in those businesses, my Father, and bring, Almighty Father, revival times upon those businesses in the name of Jesus Christ. Breathe anew over, Almighty Father, every dry bone in the businesses in the name of Jesus Christ. Every idea, my Father, bring it back to actualization in the name of Jesus Christ. We cover this event by the blood of Jesus Christ. We cover every person by the blood of Jesus Christ. All the volunteers, we cover them by the blood of Jesus Christ. All our supporters, our friends, and our sponsors, we cover them by the blood of Jesus Christ. And Father, we do not forget to cover the day of 8 by the blood of Jesus Christ. We command order upon that AGM. We command order from the youngest to the oldest, from the largest to the smallest. We command order upon that body in the name of Jesus Christ. We command order upon the voters right now in the name of Jesus Christ. We command order and sanity into the business community of Vihiga in the name of Jesus Christ. You told us in your word that you shall give us the ends of the earth for an inheritance, my Father. And Lord, you are giving us Vihiga for an inheritance, of King of Glory, even as much as Kncci is here in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you, Holy Spirit of God. Whatever I haven't prayed, I'm asking you to pray for us. I pray all this in the mighty glorious name of our Lord and our Savior, the victorious one, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Amen.
Amen.
You're dismissed and you're turned to another day. May God bless you so much.
And one.